Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. Today is August 4th of 2023. Oh my God, the summer is gone. I want to die per usual. But hey, you know what? All that matters is I'm here to talk about things with you guys, and I genuinely appreciate it. Soul Vessel, dude, you really didn't have to, but thank you for the 50 gifted memberships. Make sure you re-up those gifted memberships because he is really generous with that stuff, and he really supports the channel, and it's nice of him to do that. Same as Karma with her 5, Shogun with the 10, even though I think he hates me. I don't even know anymore. I think he just likes to troll me. And then QTV felony charge with the 50. Keep up the great work, my dude. Here's the 7K. Thank you guys so much for all the love hitting 6K. It took a bit of a road to get here after taking my, I guess you want to call it, hiatus off working for the show. And now we've officially reached the point where I'm back to where I was before the show ended. It took a long time to get here, but I can't thank you guys enough. Onwards and upwards, we have a road to 10K subs by the end of the year. I think we could do it. We just need 4K more to go, baby. And I think we can definitely do it. I want to start off this stream before we get into everything and I introduce the guest. He should be coming in a little bit, maybe a few minutes late, which is totally fine. Again, I need to emphasize the severity of what I'm going to say here. Lex's story is her story. She can feel the way that she feels about the situation. I personally believe in innocent until proven guilty, especially with the Dawn stuff. I feel like it was blown out of proportion, but she has the right to feel the way that she does. You know, we could sit here and debate semantics all day about it, but regardless whether or not how I personally feel about it, if she feels that way, she feels that way. Evidence pertaining. But there is another side to this story that I have taken personal issue with, and a lot of other creators have taken personal issue with, and that is the coverage by Nickisnotgreen, the situation involving Leighton, and the situation involving Lex's current boyfriend, and the connection that the three have to one another. I want to point this out. I want to really kind of show you guys that I believe that there was, in my opinion, some BS going on. I believe that Leighton and her boyfriend are way more involved than they should be and may or may not have influenced some aspects of this. Now, Nick, on the other hand, I believe Nick was trying to defend a friend, but he did it in the worst goddamn way possible, involving Matt and his coverage of Matt and Ryan. Not the coverage of Lex, the coverage of Matt and Ryan. And that is the focus of this video. This is the focus of this live stream, is to point out Nick's bullshit and show you guys why it's there. Now that I got that out of the way before people start dislike bombing the shit out of this because Nick's fan base is out of control, let's get it started. Hello everybody. Welcome back to another stream. Hello, Best in the World, Tiller, Chris Pratt, Miss Stripes, Gaji, Shogun, QTV, Hannah, Gus, Heezy, Blaster, Dominic, Rinny, everybody. Thank you, Dark Mage, for showing up, guys. I know it was a bit of a slow start to the stream. I really wanted to kind of like get my personal thoughts out there before we really like jumped into things and we bring the guest on. Hold on. Why is my camera so goddamn fuzzy right now? Hold up. Why is the camera fuzzy? There we go. There we go. See, I need a new camera. It is important. We need one. Why the hell? Okay, so I never set up the donation link there. It's whatever. Hello, everybody. I fixed the camera. I don't know why. Bro, I can't win. I can't win. There's always a tech problem somewhere, somehow, no matter what I do. I can set this stuff up for 5 hours ahead of time. 5 hours ahead of time, and there's something wrong with it every time. I hate it. But hey, I gotta do what I have to deal with. I have to do what I have to deal with. Chris, I don't hate you. I agree to disagree. I hate you for saying that, Shogun. I hate you for doing that. Agree. Let's agree to disagree, everybody, that Nickisnotgreen's video is ass. I did double check, Ben. Don't do a confusing opinion does the Augie to me. Don't do that. Don't you start. Don't you start. I don't need my own confusing opinion.
Chris, I don't hate you. I agree to disagree.
Yeah. You agree to disagree, my ass. I really wanted to emphasize the points before we got started. The guest today is a man named Sheepley. I always forget how to say his name wrong. I always mess it up. Sheepley is the guy who helped Turkey Tom produce the diss track on Tipster. Me and him have actually been talking a little bit behind the scenes in regards to this Nickisnotgreen video and the SuperMega stuff in general. We both have a vested interest in it, just like Diesel. Me and him have been working kind of closely on it. We've been talking for about 2 days, going through everything. He's actually just put out his own video on everything, so make sure you go watch that after this. Dude's incredibly talented. I'm glad he's going to be on later. But the reason that I'm going over the Nickisnotgreen video in of itself is because from my perspective and from a lot of people's perspective, I'm not going to name names, a lot of people believe that Nick is incredibly biased in his first video starting. Now, I've seen the first video. I've seen it multiple times. This is going to be my first time watching it live. I have yet to see the second video, but Sheepley's seen the second video a bunch of times. Nick comes across during the SuperMega portion of the video.
You're brain dead and still can't pronounce my name.
Bro, how do you pronounce it? I'm so dumb, man. Shepley? Schleppy. I'm so retarded, dude. I'm retarded.
Brain dead and still can't pronounce my name.
I'm so stupid. But a lot of people have come across that at the end of the day, Nick is biased. And he has there's a good reason why he's biased. Not a good reason, but it's pretty obvious he's biased from some of the things that I'm going to pull up and show you, some of the things my guest is going to bring forward and talk about today. And we're going to kind of like nitpick the ever-living shit out of the Nickisnotgreen video. I don't know when the guest is ready.
Can't
okay.
My name.
Yes, I can't pronounce the name. Why? Why does it have to hit me a second time? A third time? It's happening. It's happening every time. At the end of the day, bro, I hate at the end of the day. It's like coming out of my mouth more often after the tipster stuff. It's like actually pissing me off. It's like actually pissing me off. Sea of Thieves live stream when? Soon. I will do a Sea of Thieves live stream. I'm going to convince Bo Blacks to play. He likes playing Sea of Thieves. He likes playing it. The last time we played it, I fucked up his live stream, though. I don't think he wants to stream with me again after that. I haven't talked to him about it. Oh, God. He's definitely thinking twice about that. Now ask Keem. Keem will refuse. Keem will refuse to play Sea of Thieves. He will refuse to play Sea of Thieves. Like, if I DM Keem, I'm like, hey, you want to play Sea of Thieves with me and Bo Blacks? He'll be like, fuck you, I'm not playing Sea of Thieves. Because he's going to want to be in control, and I'm not going to want Keem to be in charge of the ship. I'm going to fucking lose my mind. I would actually, like, blow my brains out on the side of the fucking road if I had to take orders from Keem and fucking Sea of Thieves, dude. But I don't know when the guest is ready, so I'm just going to get started on this. So, Nickisnotgreen put out a video about 6 days ago. SuperMega is full of horrible people. Now, I'm going to say this right here. I do not have an issue with clickbait titles. I would be a hypocrite if I did. I did it to Keffels. Keffels is now the new internet Stalin or whatever my title was. I would be a hypocrite if I said clickbait titles were super bad. But the way that Nick's video kind of panders out, he talks about, you know, obviously the Lex situation at the beginning. But the majority of the video is talking specifically about Matt and Ryan and how he perceives them and how the audience should perceive them in this.
He's bad at reading.
He's bad at reading. Yes, I am terrible at reading. But how he presents Matt and Ryan in this story in of itself. That is the issue that I have with Nick's video. And I believe again, I personally believe that there is a bias in this video and that he shouldn't have stuck his nose in it this early without Matt and Ryan's formal response, because he is playing a game of telephone. Remember when I completely shit on the fact that Rav was playing a game of telephone with Matt and Ryan and Lex about the allegations? Nick in of himself also is playing a game of telephone with all the information from the third-party people. He's friends with these people. He wasn't there with these people. He is making a video based on the information that his friends have given him. He should not have made this video preemptively before Matt and Ryan showed up. I'm sorry, Nick, but you're kind of an idiot for fucking sticking your foot into this in the first place. Did you want to help your friend? Absolutely. Not shitting on you for the Lex stuff. You could have talked about that. But you shitting on SuperMega the entire time? The most of the runtime of the video? From 17:32 all the way to 36 minutes is nothing but bashing on SuperMega. The SuperMega fan base is turning on them, and all the horrible things that Matt and Ryan has done that doesn't involve the SA allegations. It's about personal shit of theirs that is not even remotely tangentially related to the SA allegation. This is why I don't like Nickisnotgreen. He does this shit all the time. He did it with Sneeko, and now he's doing it with SuperMega. And I fucking hate Sneeko, but I hate Nickisnotgreen more. I hate this guy way more than I fucking hate Sneeko, which is an insane statement for me to make, because Sneeko is like Hitler for some people. Not for me. I just think he's retarded. But, like, for some reason, I feel like Nick is constantly disingenuous when it comes to covering certain kinds of allegations, and we're definitely going to fucking talk about it in the sense of this. If you have badass sight, you're already lost. I have 20/20 vision, bitch. 20/20 vision. I ain't got no bad eyes, Shadow. Thank you for the 5. All right, the guest is ready. How do you pronounce your name? Because I'm retarded.
What's going on? Sleepy, bro.
Sleepy.
It's like sleepy, but with like a speech impediment.
Sleepy. All right, perfect. I'll remember that. That's easy. Hello, everybody. He's pulling a tipster. Any girl knows he will not. Bro, it's so true. Can we admit something?
If you have bad eyesight, you've already lost.
I truly believe that Nick is like simping real fucking hard. I think Chud Logic like smacked it upside the head on that one.
I thought he was gay.
He gives off the vibe. I have no idea.
Girl he knows he will
that's why I haven't brought that up, because I just assume he's gay.
That's what I wouldn't be shocked if he is. Like, who gives a shit? But like, it's just funny.
Well, generally, the type of people that do this are like very, like, oftentimes gay.
Usually, especially when it comes to like a fan base like his.
Yeah, that or women. They're either women or they're gay men.
That's just the way to do it. Let's see here. So I'm gonna test this. I swear to God, if it doesn't work, I'm gonna fucking shit a brick. All right.
I hope so.
Let's see here. Let me know if you can hear this.
More cases of Matt and Ryan's.
No.
Nah.
Hold on. Let's try it.
And they very quickly took Lex's side in the situation.
Nah.
Mother cocksucking Christ.
It's rough.
Bruh. This shit.
It's not looking good, fam.
It's definitely not looking good. All right, let's try this one.
Bringing up even more cases of Matt and Ryan's disgusting.
Hold on, maybe it's me.
Behavior.
It might be. We're having issues because I had to take down the Discord fucking app, and now we're just in a browser.
Yeah.
It's not Boomer Chris.
Being gay is like someone's reality and stuff.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Play it.
Fans of SuperMega on Reddit and Twitter.
It's over. It's Jover, bro.
It's so Jover. Okay, so go to the timestamp of 17:27 on Nick's first video, and we'll go line by line.
I bet I got you.
I'll just go one.
I know this video pretty much by heart too, so whatever you end up like, as long as you set, I'll probably be able to catch on.
All right, cool. We'll figure it out. All right.
So let me grab this. Full of horrible people. You're at 17:27.
I'm at 17:27.
All right. I
Do the
am
motor
2.
specific
Okay.
screen. I have no idea how to do that, Rennie. I'm fucking
Let's play when you're
stupid.
ready.
All right, I'm ready when you're ready. How do you feel about this video before we like get significantly started on this?
I think there's aspects of it that he's done well, especially early on where he's covering the actual SA. Like, I don't have a problem with, if you're a friend of someone, I don't have a problem with you believing them, and I don't have a problem with you saying, you know what, like, this is what happened. I believe her. But where I get into issues, especially in the second video, not so much this one, is that he repeatedly says things like, oh, Matt is a rape apologist, or he'll say stuff like, Dawn sexually assaulted Lex, and it's like, okay, I'm fine with you saying the Dawn sexually assaulted Lex maybe once, okay, but after that, you gotta tack on allegedly, because it gets to a point where I'm like, bro, this is defamation. Like, you don't have evidence of this happening.
Again, it's a he said, she said. Like, if you, like, an example is like somebody has an awkward sexual encounter and the girl gets uncomfortable with it and they're like, it's not SA, but it's uncomfortable. It's still like a thing that you're like, yeah, it's an uncomfortable situation. But when you tack on sexual assault or rape or anything like that, it elevates it to another level where now there's a crime being committed and somebody's life is being ruined on top of that. One, you can handle and it's cringy and you're like, whatever, like, she feels that way. I may have fucked up or she interpreted it wrong. But now that you're saying it's SA, he sexually assaulted me, you've pushed it into the realm of life ruination. That's the issue. You're pushing it into the level of life ruination. I don't think the situation, because again, we're just speculating based on the story. In my opinion, I wouldn't consider this a life ruination situation. But until I'm proven different, like if there's evidence or something, I'm just gonna say I personally wouldn't call it sexual assault. I would call it an uncomfortable situation, and she feels totally in the right to be upset with it. But I can't call the guy a rapist. I can't do it.
I'll call it. He is he is a participant in an allegation, I guess. Like, that's all it is. It's all alleged. And I think if you use other terms, like if you're not going to put allegedly prior to accusing someone of a crime, I mean, it's kind of, it's weird. It's
a tough one.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to jump immediately into the SuperMega section of the video. You know, again, me and Schleepy do not have an issue with the Lex coverage. It's what's after the Lex coverage that I have a fucking significant issue with.
Began to post about Lex's video.
I'd say we don't have a significant issue with the Lex coverage. There's still things you could nitpick. There's still things you can have problems with. But the real, like, substantive issues come at the 18-minute mark.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I love Gaji in chat. He gives me I'm Alex vibes.
That's, like, no joke.
That's kind of accurate.
That's a pretty good comparison.
Like, this, like, the vibes that I was given from this video, Slazo vibes. Like, the vibes of how, like, Hyojin and fucking I'm Alex and all these people were involved. It's giving those vibes. I can't definitively say that there was like a gay op happening in the background, but I can definitely get that vibe. I get where you're coming from.
We're not quite at the, like, confirmation of a gay op, but
new donation from CIA.
Everybody's fucking this up.
Yeah, basically everybody. All right.
Yeah.
CIA donated direct on. I got to read that immediately. I always feel like somebody's watching you, Chris. Also, I'm part of Leo's super supremacy. Okay, bro. Thanks. I appreciate that, CIA. What the fuck? That was the weirdest donation. All right, let's keep going.
And they very quickly took Lex's side in the situation, bringing up even more cases of Matt and Ryan's disgusting behavior, as well as Don and Jim. It seems like...
So this is the thing. When we're at the part where he goes, bringing up Matt and Ryan's disgusting behavior, including Don and Jim, in my opinion, that implies that Matt and Ryan did something incredibly wrong in this situation, something disgusting, something on the level of what Jim and Don did to Lex.
Well, yeah, that's the pretext, right?
Right. So that's like the crazy thing is like you're putting those individuals all on the same playing field, like right there. You're just like, she also exposed all the disturbing shit that Matt, Ryan, and additionally Don and Jim. What the fuck are you talking about? Like,
it's like John murdered someone. Donovan also did something horrendous. Well, immediately you're gonna think, oh, was it really bad? And then they go, oh, well, he stole a cat from someone.
And you're just like, who cares? That's not even tangentially related to the
Yeah,
actual
it's like,
situation.
why are you lining these two things up together and then like referring to them as horrendous?
That's like the craziest part of this is that he just goes, other disgusting behavior. Like, I get he's trying to establish a pattern behavior that the Super Mega House is full of horrible people, just like the title states. But what did Matt really do? In quotations, cheat on his girlfriend. In quotation, Ryan cheated on his girlfriend. What is the additional shit here? Like, why does that matter?
Relevance.
It has no relevance. And it blows my mind that he's trying to build a bridge to connecting it to the major allegation at play here. It makes no sense to me.
The analogy I made in my video was essentially he's treating this like a surfer finding a really big wave. Like, Lex is this big wave, right? You can really ride this to basically any destination. And he decided that, okay, I'm going to get on this sexual assault wave, and I'm going to just start fucking doing tricks. And each trick is him saying, like, oh, the housing was a problem. Oh, he cheated on his wife. Oh, he had an inappropriate relationship with a fucking online sex, an OnlyFans model. It's like, bro, this isn't a game. This isn't like surfing a wave. You have to like pick what you want to talk about that. And if you have problems with other things, don't ride the wave. Make separate videos talking about those things.
Right. And the funniest part of all of this is that he brings up the one girl that Matt had a relation with while him and his girlfriend were on a 2-week break. And then dude, all she is, and I'm going to fucking say it, all she is a girl that got fucked and caught feelings for the guy, and he didn't feel the same. So now she has to come out with some video or some kind of live stream or whatever the fuck she did trying to expose him for it. Who gives a shit?
And by the way, she's an e-whore. Like, if you look at her OnlyFans or if you look at her fucking Twitter, like, there are literally videos of her getting like fucked online for money. Like, that's what's going on.
Jesus, I have not seen that myself.
Yeah, bro.
All right, let's get into that.
A lot of fans were already a bit weary of SuperMega after a number of smaller controversies they've been in over the past few years, but this by far is...
So I love that he brushes past that. I know he's going to get into it, but he's like, the fans have always been weary of like other allegations, and I'm like, what allegations are really fucking bad that they have done that the fan base is concerned about? Ryan sexting a fan, a consenting adult fan.
Yeah.
Sure, is that shitty? Abso-fucking-lutely. But it's not tangentially related to the sexual assault. It doesn't make sense to bring it up.
Yeah, when talking about someone's sexual assault, I think it's pretty irrelevant to talk about a nude exchange that, like, happened with a consenting adult. It's bizarre.
It's just fucking stupid. All right, let's keep going.
The biggest one. In the time since, it feels like people are beginning to put equal blame on the two guys, but at first it seemed like people were definitely trying to shit on Matt a lot more in this situation, and I really don't feel like that's a fair thing to say. I think Ryan is just as at fault here as Matt is in the situation.
I love how he goes, man, you know, everyone seems to be shitting on Matt the most, and that just doesn't feel right. And, you know, when I watched it the first time, I'm going, okay, he's going to say something nuanced. He's going to say, well, he did what he could, but he doesn't deserve all the hate that he's getting. But then he goes right out of left field and goes into, you know what? Fuck it. Ryan's also just as bad as everyone says Matt is. Like, what the fuck is happening? Why are you doing that? Oh, God. I'm going to keep going.
They are both owners of their YouTube channel. They are both the bosses of the people who are a part of this story. And Ryan may as well have been the one person that Matt would listen to in this situation, but he decided not to. There are multiple tactics.
Also,
that is
there's
so
some vaguity.
That's so wrong.
Are you at the point where he says despicable human beings?
I got to the part where they were like, well, he should listen to Matt is the one person that Ryan would listen to, right?
Let
but
it run
didn't
like
listen
another
to him.
couple seconds.
Yeah. Also, watch the slurs, dude. I'm just saying.
Oh, sorry.
Some fucking assholes have been trying to like flag. I haven't talked about it much, but they've been trying.
From Ryan downplaying the severity of this situation, and I think him and Matt are both pretty despicable human beings for letting any of this happen.
It's
It's
just
insane because he goes for letting any of this happen. Letting what happen?
Yeah, but like, how are they in charge of what Dawn did to Lex? How are
they're the Power
they in
Rangers.
charge of it?
They're supposed to detect it through the walls and stop it from happening.
Like, imagine putting the onus on an individual for an action that they were not even in the same room to commit, or were hoaxing it on, or doing anything like that, and going, Matt and Ryan are fucking despicable people because they should have known and stopped it. Like, what? How the fuck were they supposed to stop it?
I think, again, the only thing, I think really, if we're looking at this situation, the only person really at fault in any way other than Don and Lex to an extent is Matt. It happened at his house, and if anyone was supposed to do anything, it should have been Matt, and he should have gone to the cops. That's it. Because once he goes to the cops, it's off his hands. And honestly, I think that's the way you get away with this, is you go to the cops, let them handle it, and let these two fucking idiots deal with it.
Might as well. And you pull your hands back and go, I have zero accountability in this. It did happen in my fucking home. I was unaware of it. I have now been informed about it. I am going to present this to the proper authorities and people that are professionally, like they are professionally inclined to handle it. YouTubers are not meant to handle allegations like these. They shouldn't be the ones going in and trying to do this. You should get people who are professional to handle it, not you.
Chris, what do you do with allegations?
Fucking provide them to the police or provide them to somebody.
You investigate them.
Yeah.
Police investigate them. I don't understand why an allegation comes out and Nick is like, well, why didn't you fire him? Why didn't you tell every single person that knows of this person that he's an SA person? Yeah, like, I'm trying to avoid the slurs here.
Yeah,
you know what
I
I'm saying?
I know. But, like, this is the other thing, right? So Lex did the same thing. She goes, well, I didn't want it to be a big deal. I didn't want to, like, make it a thing. And, you know, I told Matt. And Matt in his video goes, to respect what we were asked, we kept it quiet. We didn't blast it anywhere publicly. We did what we were asked to do, in a sense. He didn't say it verbatim, but he basically implied we did what she wanted, just to keep it on the down low. Yep. That's all she wanted at that time. Now she wants them to do something when that wasn't the original thing that she wanted. That's like crazy. That's like saying, I want you to read my mind and know exactly what I'm saying to you when I'm saying the opposite. That's fucking insane.
Yep.
I can't wrap my head around that. All right, let's keep going.
This is SuperMega's subreddit. If you kind of start going through the top posts of this past week, you can see a lot of their previous supporters are definitely not interested in supporting them anymore. A former fan of theirs says that
it's so ironic that this video is still up. I looked at the SuperMega subreddit recently. The amount of people in support of Matt and Ryan have dwarfed the amount of people that hate Matt and Ryan now.
Well, that's why Lex disabled her comments.
That's like crazy that Nick still has this video up. That's like the part that blows my mind. He's not going to take it down. He's too prideful. He won't do it. It's like it's like when he asked everyone to flag Sneako's channel. Was that him? Am I stupid? Yeah, that was him. He asked people to flag Sneako's channel. People gave him fucking hell on earth about it, and he still kept it up and going, well, you know, because Sneako's a danger to the platform. I have no problem keeping a video up saying how to flag people. Fuck you. Don't flag people. If you don't like them, don't fucking watch them. Make fun of them, criticize them, move the fuck on. Why are you trying to tell people to flag a channel? Was Sneako calling for violence on the platform? No.
Well, okay, hold on. I will say in a way he was, because if you remember the context, there was a woman, I think she was a fat woman, but anyways, essentially he said that this woman needed some dick in her life and that he would provide it, and then he kind of like made like a rapey type joke.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's a joke. We can hate that joke. It's a disgusting fucking joke. We can all say that collectively.
Yeah.
But does that mean he's saying you need to go out, one of my fans or myself go out and do that? No. Of course not.
Of course not.
So why flag the channel? Because you just didn't like a crude fucking joke?
Yeah, and as a community, we should be able to like recognize that and make fun of them. I mean, that's what we used to do. That's what was so great about iDubbbz back in the day, is that you would take somebody who's like fucking around and take their words and use them against them, rather than, oh, I'm gonna flag you. I can't believe you said that.
Yeah, that you know, I told you this before we went live and everything. We were talking for the past 2 days, and then I said this at the end of my stream last time for the SuperMega stuff. Nickisnotgreen is the ultimate example of what is wrong with like mainstream commentary channels. They are hypersensitive. They demand the world. They think they can stand on the moral high ground, and they believe that. They believe that they have the moral high ground when they're just another YouTuber. They're me and you. They're just dudes talking shit. That's all it is. That's all we are. Stop pretending that you're bigger than anything else. You're fucking not, Nick. And the fact that you're like, well, look at all these Reddit posts. Who gives a fuck what a Reddit has to say realistically? Like, what are the people on Reddit going to do? Who cares?
They're Redditors, bro.
They're Redditors. They're fucking Redditors. Who cares? That's like saying, man, I wonder what 4chan thinks of this. Who cares?
Yep.
All right, let's keep going.
This is what constitutes as a magnum opus you're willing to push your friend's sexual assault aside for. There's this guy.
Funny enough that he's got to eat those fucking words. I hope he eats them in the next video because I didn't watch it yet, where he's like, oh, the magnum opus thing. He keeps bringing that up like Matt actually said that. That's so funny.
No, he actually, so in the second video, he expands on that.
Good. I hope he does. I hope he tries to weasel himself out of that one.
On their
Essentially,
Patreon who used
other
to-
people, that are friends with, what the fuck, what's his name? Matt. Yeah, had like kind of backed up that
Anyone who
Matt is
hasn't
very
seen A to
prideful of
remember
his
live,
channel,
you've already
and
lost.
so obviously the term magnum opus, we still have not seen if that term's actually been used. But Nickisnotgreen goes, well, he's very prideful of his channel, so
Okay,
kinda
and
backs up the whole magnum opus term.
yeah, but okay.
Yeah,
so
and.
my exact response would be, so what? So
Yeah.
what? Did he say that directly to Lex? Did he put
We
the
don't have any
needs of the
proof of that.
channel? Did he put the needs of the channel before Lex? From what I've seen so far, no. Especially with the DMs that Matt provides, where it's all like really nice text messages from Lex, and she's still talking to him, and they're still on good terms, and everything after the fact. So,
Bro, I'll be honest with you.
Who gives a shit?
Like, in this scenario, okay, let's say I'm running Sleepy Incorporated, okay? I have my YouTube channel. I've got a bunch of people, some subcontractors. Two subcontractors get into a kerfuffle, okay? One of them says SA, the other one says, no, it wasn't that. Bro, like I said, I'm handing it to the cops, and I'm firing both. Like, get the fuck out of here. I don't need any of that bullshit.
yeah.
And this is why companies have policies where they say you need to sign off with HR if you're gonna date people within the company. Now these two weren't employees, they were subcontractors, but because they're subcontractors, you can just fucking nuke them and get rid of them.
I know that Don was a subcontractor. Was Jim not an employee? I thought he said. I
Ooh,
thought
Jim
Jim was
might
an
have been an
employee.
employee. I was
Yeah.
referring to Lex as the other subcontractor.
Oh yeah, Lex is the subcontractor.
I would've
Don
nuked
is
both.
also that one. Yeah,
Lex
yeah.
and Don, I would have nuked both.
Fair enough. I would have done the
don't need
same
it.
thing. I would have done the same thing, but I would have at least like tried to like be like more understanding of Lex and be like, listen, I know you're having this moment. We're here to support you, but we need to like distance ourselves from this and handle this
What about
in a
Don?
professional way. Same thing as Don. I'd be like, dude, I understand this position that you're in. We need to handle this in a professional way. Until then, until we have this investigated by the proper authorities, you are going to be let go or put on suspension or hiatus or whatever. That's what most
Well,
companies do.
Because they're subcontractors, you could basically just say, we're just not going to contract you for work until this is cleared up.
Yeah, you could
That's it.
basically go that route. They could have done that route at any time. That's where the criticism of Matt and Ryan can come in, where it's like they even admitted, they're like, we could have handled it better. They could have.
Now think about what I just said. Because they're subcontractors, they basically did that with Leighton and gave him $20,000 on the way out. And Leighton still pisses his pants about them.
Dude, I fucking love making fun of Leighton.
That guy's a weasel.
Do
Like,
you
I don't
have
think he has-
do you have his live stream? I haven't seen that.
I don't.
I think Diesel said he had it. Maybe if we get through this, we'll watch it because I found it
Yeah.
I found clips of it randomly on Twitter when he was trending. I can't find them now, but he's like losing his shit, and you can tell he's like one of those BPD fucking Gen Z weirdos. Where
Yeah,
it's just
there's
like
not a single party that agrees with him. Like none of, like even Lex doesn't like him right now.
yeah, nobody likes him because he's a schizo. But it's
Yeah.
funny because Nick and Lex's current boyfriend were friends with Leighton. Best friends for the boyfriend of Lex to Leighton.
Leighton is the Jalen of the SuperMega community.
New donation from
You
Trace
did-
Harry.
You did not have to hurt Leighton that hard, bro.
GG easy.
You did not need to hurt him that hard, bro. Holy shit.
GG easy. It's over.
Dude, Drew is sharing, but Chris smokes mids. Bruh, listen, I smoke regular cigarettes. Thank you, Drew. Definitely appreciate it, brother.
Cigs?
Dude, with $100, Drew, how much is fucking Kick paying you? Holy shit.
Holy fuck.
Thank you, bro. Genuinely appreciate that. We're pretty close to that new camera. I love to see that. That is awesome.
That's
Thank
what
you,
I like
Drew.
to hear.
Thank you, Drew. Appreciate you. I got to start smoking weed again because Drew watches me.
Real.
Drew, you would be proud. I smoked really good indica weed cut with DMT.
Oh my god.
I had a great time on that trip. Let's keep going. I'm at 1854 if you want to know the timestamp, just to be sure.
Sweet.
All right, cool.
Only ever comment I'm gay, and this kind of encapsulates what a lot of people were feeling about the situation. Don is a groomer and a rapist. If you found out about that and didn't immediately cut him out of your life, you're just fucking evil. I don't know what to tell you. Let alone...
So this is the thing. They try to rope in the groomer thing too, and I saw the allegation of the grooming thing because Lex's current boyfriend retweeted it, and I have one of his tweets pulled up about him and Nick. But Matt and Ryan were not aware of the grooming allegations at all. None of that was brought up until the allegations with Lex came up. So this person is a retard. Like,
By the way, like, I don't know much about the groom. I've heard it, but I've not seen any evidence or any, like,
I've just seen a
really
statement.
anything about it.
I've just seen a
Exactly.
state. I've only seen a statement, much like the Lex thing.
All I'll say, I'm going to link you the photo I posted on Twitter. All I'll say, okay, because I have defended Don because I think that without evidence, you can't just fucking, you know, convict this person of SA and grooming. But all that being said, I'm going to link a tweet here so you can show the
I'll show it.
audience what this guy looks like. Listen, I'm not.
Oh my God! You're gonna
Jesus
pull up the
fucking
photo.
Christ.
You're gonna
I'm gonna
pull up the photo.
Yes, I am. Here. Check Discord. Show these guys what's going on. Listen, if they don't know what Don looks like, I think it's important. Okay,
I think it's important.
This is what we think, by the way.
Yeah,
This is what we think Don looks like.
No, that is him. I
Nicotine
think.
is so awesome and
That is?
addictive, I love it.
Here's the thing. Listen, okay, I'm defending him because again, this isn't 100%. Like, he's not convicted, but at the same time, if I expected a groomer and SAer to look like anything, I'm just saying. That's all.
Bro, Jesus Christ.
But I'm still defending him. Okay, I'm just saying he's a bit weird looking.
Quack in chat, Asian Nick Diorio.
Bro, honestly, he looks like Augie and Nick Diorio had a kid.
No! Don't put that fucking image in my head, dude. What the fuck? You can't go, I think this guy looks like a groomer and an essayer, but then equate him to Nick Diorio and Augie. You can't do that.
It's over, bro. It's
Bro,
over.
no!
And on top of that, he's German, so he probably has like weird ideas of age of consent.
Oh my God, chill.
German.
I know the age of consent in, I think it's 16.
14.
Ew.
GG, well played. It's over.
That's
he probably thought
disgusting.
it was normal.
That's fucking gross.
Hashtag
I'm
zero.
handling
All right, let's keep going.
Treated Rav and Lex. I can thoroughly say I hate you guys. I absolutely despise what you've become. Public apologies now. I'm so unbelievably serious. This will be my final post on your dog shit motherfuckers page. I used to look forward to commenting I'm gay. It was a fun ritual born out of Ryan's proclivity to do so in early SuperMega episodes as a bit. I'm gay myself and always enjoyed the irreverent, but still, at the end of the day, respectful way you joked about homoerotic content and whatnot. This is my final post. My final I'm gay. Now it's just I'm disgusted. Reflect on what you've done and have a real come to Jesus moment about all this over the next few years. Otherwise, there's no hope for you, and I hope you rot in a ditch. And if we go to this...
Man, I love that he's like going through and picking like the most inflammatory things on the Reddit to find just to paint the narrative. Like, I get he's doing that because he's trying to show the overall feeling of their fan base, but it also makes you look like you're trying to paint the picture that everybody feels this way about the SuperMega shit. It kind of feels like that.
Before they came out.
I can kind of get it. I can kind of I see what he's doing, and it's so fucking obvious once you think about it.
He's weird and lame. I'm tired of his weird.
It's unfortunate he has a large audience.
Very unfortunate. No, Shadow, you're good.
Post about Lex's tweet explaining that she made this video about SuperMega, and you have a lot of people who are upset about it. Rightfully so. This person says, fuck me.
Some people are upset about it, rightfully so. So this is the thing. Nick is feeding into the mob mentality here. He's feeding into the wave that you brought up earlier and just letting it continue to ride. Instead of going against the wave a little bit and saying, maybe I should wait on this video. Matt and Ryan still haven't put out a statement yet. We haven't heard anything from them. He's just like, yeah, the wave is coming. Time to ride that shit. Like, he's just adding more to it.
Yep.
It's just crazy.
That is awful and disgusting. I don't even know what to say. I'm so disappointed. All right, time to pull out the ukulele. Matt is definitely canceling his last 2 shows, and this is referring to the fact that Matt Watson was actually on tour at the time this video came out, and when all of this came out, he actually
canceling
about
his
the situation.
tour was like, honestly,
What?
I don't think he needed to do that, but it shows what kind of person he is, that he's willing to cancel shows of his tour, basically to satiate like the crowd. Like, he's doing. I think that's doing a lot of good. I don't think he needed to do that. I think he could have rode the wave, but he decided to do what he felt was right, and I kind of commend him.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to shit on a guy. If he's going on tour, right, and he is going out there and making content, and then something like this comes up, just like you said, it shows a level of understanding where he's like, okay, there's a situation happening. I can't ignore it. I can't just let it go. It needs to be handled immediately because it's an important situation. Not just to save his own ass. He just needs to clarify that he's like, I stand by Lex, but there are other things in this story that not a lot of people know. And there are a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon of hate. Now, when he threw Bo Blacks into that mix, I was like, fuck you, Matt. That's retarded.
That was so cringe.
Like, you can't throw Bo Blacks into that. The reason you can't throw Bo Blacks into that is because that specific video.
I confuse this guy with Pegasus, my bat.
He didn't even state an opinion in the video.
He didn't state an opinion at all. He was just like, I am reading the tweets of what is happening. And when the video was done, more stuff came out. So Matt immediately assumed, based on the title and the thumbnail, because I guarantee you he didn't watch it, that Bo Blacks was just dogpiling with Nick. If he just left Nick in there and said Nick has made a video he jumped the gun way too early, he's fucking everything up, or like criticized Nick and just left Bo Blacks out of it, he would have been fine. I genuinely believe that Bo Blacks should not have been thrown under the bus.
100%. 100%.
And I can criticize Matt for that.
Bo Blacks' role in the community, I think, is like, honestly, you cannot, irreplaceable. Bo Blacks is irreplaceable in the community. Being able to archive tweets, make it accessible for people who can't see all those tweets. It's hard to find everybody who's talking about this. He goes through and, not even joking, unironically, with autistic detail, goes through and finds every single tweet and reposts it. I don't see any. First off, he's not adding his opinion. He's just basically a documentarian, and I think we need more of that.
Yeah, people that do it well, the ones that don't have like an agenda to push on certain things. Like Bo Blacks has opinions on live streams. He has opinions in like certain dramas, especially when he's involved with them. But when it comes to other people's dramas and tweets and shit, he just reads the fucking tweets. That's all he does. And people get mad at him for no fucking reason. It blows my goddamn mind.
At worst, he'll put his opinion at the beginning or at the end of a video.
It'll most likely be at the end.
And he won't let his opinion kind of change the way he reads tweets or change which tweets he'll select.
And to the person in chat that goes, Bo Blacks kind of got butthurt so easily over it, though. That's because Bo Blacks knows that he didn't do anything wrong, and he's really trying to understand why he was thrown under the bus. Like, I get it. I would be upset by it, too. I'd be like, what the fuck? I just read tweets, dude. Like,
and more importantly, sorry, not to
no, you're good. You're good.
He cares. He's not just doing this because, I want to make money. Like, obviously he is, but at the same time, he actually cares. And if you listen to his video, but like, you could tell in his voice, like, this is something he cares about. A lot of the topics he's talked about, like, for example, the Adriana Lee situation, like, dude, there's a reason why he to this day has a problem with that streamer there. You remember his name there?
Miskiff. He fucking hates Miskiff, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and I agree with these dramas. Dude, I agree with him. I fucking agree 100%. With him 100% about the Miskiff shit. Fuck Miskiff. Everyone forgot about that. You know who brought that up? Bro, you know who brought that up? Fucking Mudahar on Some Ordinary Podcast. He's like, everyone just forgot about the Miskiff shit. And I'm like,
Muda's real, bro.
Dude, bro, like, I still think of that. It still, like, hits me in the back of the head once in a while where I'm like, the Miskiff shit still happened. Like, nobody talks about it.
Does Adriana have a career yet, or is it over still?
No, she's rebuilding. She's doing, I think, a little bit better than before. I haven't talked to her since that one time on the show that she called in, but like I assume she's doing better. All right. Where are we? We're at 2018. All right.
Beauty.
Surprisingly.
Oh my God, this is my favorite part of the video. I'm rewinding to 2013. I need to hear. This is my favorite fucking part.
And when all of this came out, he actually tweeted about the situation, surprisingly.
You hear that? Tweeted about the situation, surprisingly.
Yeah.
So the words there indicate to me that Nick expected Matt not to say shit, which is insane. If Matt's being wrapped up in a 2-hour video involving in their words, covering up an essay, why would it be surprising for Matt to respond to that? Why would it be surprising to put out a tweet?
Yeah.
Why would it be surprising, Nick? Bro, he's so easy to read. It's fucking disgusting.
He's a weasel.
And
this is the most weasel shit.
this is what he said.
He looks like a weasel.
He really does. Oh, now we're at the part of this, what he said. Oh, I can't wait.
Hey guys, with what's being said right now, which is a very weird way to explain what happened, you hid the sexual...
Guys, did you hear that?
I don't know about that.
Did you hear that? What he just said? I'll play it back so you guys can hear that. I just hit 5 seconds back. I want you to pay attention to what Nick said there.
And this is what he said. He said, hey guys, with what's being said right now, which is a very weird way to explain what...
It's a very weird way to explain what's being said. Matt giving out a tweet. Hey guys, with what's being said right now, I don't think it's appropriate for me to do a concert, so I unfortunately am going to cancel the last 2 shows. I'll have a response as soon as possible. How is that a weird way to explain what happened? How is that weird?
And then to say he hid it.
That's the next part I was going to get to. But think about that. Why is that a weird way to explain it? Matt puts out a statement saying, I understand everyone's talking about this situation right now and what is being said. There is nothing wrong with that tweet. That is him preemptively stating to everybody, hey, I know there's a lot of things being discussed right now, and I will have a response soon. Literally informing people that he is going to make a response. And Nick goes, it's a weird way to word that. Why? Explain to me, Nick. Why is that weird? I'm going to let him play it out.
Happened. You hid the sexual assault of a friend of yours.
You hid a definitive statement. Mind you, you hid the assault of a friend of yours. That's a definitive statement.
Pulling a miskiff.
That is a definitive. That's not like you may have, or you didn't handle it well, or you could have handled it better, or you're culpable in this in some fashion. No, it's you hid this. How the fuck is this video still up? Holy shit.
He never made a video about the Adriana Lee stuff, by the way.
Who? Nick?
Nick.
I'm not shocked.
Like, it's up his alley, right? You would expect it, but
no, he would have fucked it up. He would have fucked it up.
Not only that, I think he didn't want to do it because Miskiff is kind of in that LA community. Actually, no. Miskiff's in Texas, but
yeah,
like,
but he's a part of the higher echelons of the streamer community.
Yeah,
I get where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
Let's be completely honest. The reason he calls it weird is because he wanted them to what he wanted them to do was bound down completely and self-flagellate like iDubbbz does. That was my biggest dude. You just fucking worded it perfectly right there. That's what he wanted. He wanted Matt to be like, I am so sorry that I hid a sexual assault. I am a horrible person. Take out the fucking pitchforks and torches. That's what Nick wanted. And it was fucking obvious by the wording of his statements for a few sentences. It's obvious he wanted a tweet that makes it look like he's flogging himself to the public square. Not to know what's going on, not to get the other side of the story. He wanted Matt to fucking beat the shit out of himself. That's what he wanted. And that's how I feel about it. It's a pain in the ass. Shadow, I like you, buddy. But you got to stop saying ban autism. Yeah, I like you, buddy.
Jesus
But
Christ.
you got to ease up. The chat will get me in trouble, dude.
And kept the rapist around even though you knew that he sexually assaulted someone in your house. Hey guys, with what's being said right now, I don't think it's appropriate for me to do a concert. I don't think so. So unfortunately, I'm going to cancel the last 2 shows, and I'll have a response as soon as possible. This was at 2:35 p.m. On the Thursday that the video came out. Currently, it is 10:53 p.m. The next night. A lot of people even came into the subreddit to roast Matt Watson's music career. One person said there's one last...
Oh my god, this is the dumbest part of the fucking video. Why do you care about his music career? Why do you care about the fans in the music career? Like what? Like I understand. Again, he's trying to paint that people are mad at Matt and that they never really cared for him or whatever, or his music or whatever. Who cares? It doesn't involve the SA allegation. He hasn't even talked about why Matt or Ryan are fucking culpable in this, or the worst people, or horrible people. Hasn't even talked about it yet. Hasn't even talked about it yet.
Yep.
Am I fucking crazy that that's retarded?
I feel like he wanted to use SuperMega as like almost like a keyword. And I mean, I wonder also, you know, I gave Lex a lot of charitability when I made my video, because I was trying to think, okay, well, you know, she's an OnlyFans girl, probably not a lot going on upstairs, and if you add to the fact that she's probably dealing with like an emotional situation, like I'm not surprised that she just goes on a 2-hour wild tangent on her first video she's ever made, coming out about a pretty emotional moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But why is Nick is a pretty, you know, he's a guy who's been doing YouTube for a while. Why are you stooping to this level? Like, I don't know why he needs to do this.
Because, in my opinion, and I'm saying opinion, Nick and his fucking little fan base,
Yep.
I think he has a very heavily perceived bias because he's friends with the current boyfriend, and you're gonna see. I pulled up some tweets, I found them, of him like dick sucking Nick, like really hard, and there's a lot of photos of them together. So there's a huge bias going on in Nick's video, and he's acting like people can't see through it that have 2 brain cells, and that can rationalize that, hey, maybe you should have waited before making this video because now you look like a biased prick. Now you look like a dude that had an axe to grind because your friends had an axe to grind. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Let's keep going. We're at 2107.
Last thing I want to share before leaving the sub, I did not care for Matt Watson's music career. I'm pretty sure this is a Family Guy reference, but it's still, you know, let's look at the comments. I always thought everyone was just pretending to like his music. As someone who paid to go to one of his shows, I agree. Thank you. I always got downvoted in the sub for calling his music trash. Obviously, none of this has an effect on how he treats people, but of course, if his art sucks, let's fucking dunk on him. He sucked.
Why?
What a dick. If his art sucks, then let's
dunk on him. Let's fucking dunk. Why? What is the point?
Bro, like, is this not, you know, I would expect his community to hate this stuff, but is this not like targeted harassment?
I wouldn't call it that. I would just say he's trying to be like, again, he's feeding into the wave of hate. He's feeding into that wave. He's feeding into the mob. He's giving them what they want. They're shitting on him, so he's giving them a video to get their frustrations out there on a large platform. This dude's an idiot. Like a straight dumbass.
This is the type of stuff that you and me should be okay with doing, right? Because you and me, we're part of the commentary community in a sense where, listen, we're down to say things. We're down to sling a bit of mud. This guy's talking about, oh, you know, you can't just be sorry, I'm losing it. You can't just be you can't be negative to people. You have to be positive. You kind of have to like take the victim's side with these types of situations. But he's out here being like, I think objectively a bit of a targeted harassment type guy.
Wait a minute. Somebody in chat goes, current boyfriend of Lex is literally online saying Moist Critical is alt-right because he doesn't like a Jackson Pollock painting. What? What? This dude is mentally ill if that's true. Moist Critical. Charlie, we're talking about the same guy, right? The guy who is as liberal as liberal could be.
Alt-right, but sitting on massive dildos.
Excuse me. The guy that's pro-sex work, the guy that's pro-social change, the guy who talks about situations in a nuanced way is somehow alt-right. He has a video? No fucking shot. Okay, I might have to laugh at that on another day. Okay, I have to talk about that on another day.
Babo in the chat says, doesn't bringing up petty Reddit posts like these specific ones just make his side look worse? Because it doesn't seem like his side on the situation is also just, not taking it seriously enough.
Dude, nah, this is not a real fucking thing. This is these people are fucking idiots, dude. I love this community. They make it too easy. Like,
on God.
They do. They make it too easy to shit on them. Are you insane? Calling Moist Critical alt-right, using Reddit posts to build a narrative that everyone hates SuperMega. Like, shut up. This is like when Ethan Klein goes to his fucking subreddit and finds stories that his subreddit is mad about. Like, fuck off.
To throw it back at Nick, I think his thumbnails suck dick.
Yeah, they're not entertaining. Mine aren't great. Mine are terrible, but, like, I don't know. Like, Chud Logic maybe has the best thumbnails in the game. Even though they're inflammatory as shit. I think
Inflammatory's good, though.
But they are, like, super inflammatory.
Let me check it out.
The ones about this situation with SuperMega is going to fucking melt your brain.
Okay, I'm looking at these right now.
Yeah. The ones about
my God. He is running the sex worker angle so hard.
He really is. He's fucking destroying the sex worker angle. Like, he's beating the shit out of it.
He's a G.
He's beating the shit out of it.
I really like this.
Yeah. Like, his thumbnail game is, again, one of the best in the game.
It might get him in trouble, but this
Oh,
is
it
like...
probably will.
I really like that he's putting, like... Because we have to remember at the end of the day, this is a sex worker. This is an OnlyFans model.
I personally do not care if you want to do sex work. Do I find it cringe? Yeah, sure. Why the fuck not? But, like, you do you. If you want to do that, do that. I don't care. But isn't it funny? And it's going to sound insensitive when I say this. And if you don't like it, that's your personal opinion.
Yeah.
Every time these kinds of stories come out, the girls are always Twitter artists or sex workers.
That's why I'm saying it.
Like,
that's why
I'm going to be honest here.
That's why I like Chud bringing it up, because I think a lot of these people that are like sex positive people, they're the ones ending up in really awkward situations.
Let's keep going. I love this stupid art shit.
Plus, the way he sucked up to other musicians felt like he was trying to piggyback off their clout. You know, this is just giving you an idea of where the SuperMega fans are at this point. And there were a lot of questions about Justin, who was a former editor for SuperMega, and Kelly, who was a former channel artist for SuperMega, also being a part of this. But since then, Lex actually explained that Justin and Kelly didn't know about the sexual assault, and they left when they learned what Matt and Ryan did. And since then, Justin and Kelly have both taken SuperMega out of their bios. And it really did seem like they were two of the people that were closer to Matt and Ryan. So to know that they were willing to immediately disconnect and separate themselves from SuperMega, it says a lot about Matt and Ryan's character. It
says a lot about Matt and Ryan's character that Justin left. Oh, did my stream die? Hello?
Hold on.
I don't know. People in chat are saying that it is.
Bing bong. Let's take a look.
Nah, I'm pretty good. I'm not seeing any drop frames. I think I'm getting trolled.
Yeah, you seem fine.
I'm getting trolled. But, like,
yeah, you're fine.
Okay, so here's my argument, right? Like, I'm going to be kind of like a little bit of a devil's advocate in this situation.
Do it.
Justin and Kelly leaving because they found out that Matt and Ryan didn't do enough for this situation. They don't want to be associated with it anymore. I'm not going to shit on them for it. Do I believe that they jumped the gun they jumped the gun heavily and have left their jobs and thrown their friends under the bus? You can also argue that, right? I don't have an issue with them leaving, but I also believe it's kind of bullshit that they jumped the bus and, like, didn't talk to Matt and Ryan more in depth. I think they just heard what happened and walked away. I'm going to be honest. That's how it comes across to me.
I don't want to assume people's intentions.
I don't either, but that's like my feeling on it. I'm not making an assumption on their life or their decisions or anything, but if they jumped the second that they heard the video came out, heard the video, and then walked away, They're kind of bad friends. Like, Matt and Ryan didn't, in any case, sexually assault anybody.
No, 100% not.
So then you could sit back and be like, you guys fucked up big time, but you fucked up. Growing moment, learning moment. That's all they had to do.
What did they fuck up on, though? What did they, like, objectively, what did they fuck up on? And this is the problem I have with Nick, is he always says, like, oh, they didn't handle this right. Oh, they fucked up. Oh, it's like, bro, what did they fuck up? What did they not handle right?
They let him go, which is totally fine. I get that. They also allowed him to stay at the house, but they didn't know the severity at the time of what was going on. And they asked him to leave after that. They did enough. What they should have done is went to the police. That's what I mean by not doing enough.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's what I mean.
Matt
more than anything. Ryan did know as well, so you can also lump Ryan into
it's
like
not Ryan's house. It's not Ryan's house.
But it's their office. That's going to be the argumentation line.
It didn't happen at their office though. It happened at Matt's house.
It happened at the SuperMegaplex. Right?
The assault or Jim or Don? Jim happened at the SuperMega.
So then, I think you're right. I think
Don and Lex, their SA happened at the at Matt's.
Shit.
That's why I don't think Ryan has anything to do with this when people bring up like, oh, it's on Ryan. It's like, no, first off, Ryan's connection like to this entire situation is very fleeting at best. It was Matt's house, and the only reason Matt's implicated is because it was at Matt's house. It has nothing to do with the business of SuperMega.
Fair enough. Who's talking right? Who's talking? Sleepy.
Well done. Well done.
I had to make sure I said it right. You heard me try. Thank you, guys. We have over 200 people watching. Make sure to like this stream.
Let's go.
If you have anything to say in chat, we will read it if it's a good point. If it's retard shit, I'll entertain it if it's funny.
A whole lot of stuff
viewers,
about them.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
I will say that Jim actually still does have SuperMega in his bio as of posting this video. And my favorite post right here says, rape apologist gets what he deserves. And
my favorite post, rape apologist gets what he deserves. And it's a looping video of dad punching Matt in the face from Creator Clash 1.
Hey, yo, where's the rape, though?
How is he rape apologize? How is he a rape apologist?
Who got raped, bro?
Who got raped? Who is the rape apologist in this? I'm so curious, Nick.
Who even allegedly got raped?
Who is the rape apologist? How is this your favorite post? Who is the rape apologist? Nick?
Matt got raped. I'll tell you that. This fight was not fair.
Oh, yeah, Matt got beaten the shit out of by Dad.
That was rough.
Let's see how Nick handles his favorite post. I need you guys to really sink this part in.
shows Matt getting the absolute shit beaten out of him. Let's just let it play a couple more times.
That's kind of a dick move. Plays
Nick
it
would
on
never
loop.
step into a ring.
No, Nick's a pussy. Nick's a
a
goddamn pussy. If Nick wanted to fight me, I'd fucking train. I'd use whatever connections I could to get trained by Sam.
You're too big. You're too big. How tall is Nick? Like what? 5'4"?
I don't know. Somebody look up how tall Nickisnotgreen is. Please.
He's very skinny.
I'm 6'4". No, I'm 6 foot, not
over.
6'4". I'm 6 foot. My bad. I'm 6
He's
foot.
5'10". He's 5'10", which is still like pretty tall.
That's
but
tall
he's too
enough.
frail. Nah, he's too
If we
frail.
both worked the fuck out really hard, and I worked with Sam, I think I'd beat the shit out of him, regardless.
How much do you weigh?
Like 180.
Oh, what?
180, 175.
You weigh 175 at 6'4"?
Yeah.
How?
What do you mean?
Bro, I'm
not 6'4". I meant 6 foot. I meant to say 6 foot.
Oh, okay.
I'm 6'4". I'm 6 foot, 175 to 180 pounds.
Okay, that's likely then. It's possible. He's probably 135.
Nick, if you want to get in the boxing rig, I'll call up Keeb, get Happy Punch rolling, bro. I'll fucking do it.
Nick looks about 135.
He looks like I could sneeze on him, and he would die. Like he looks like I would sneeze on him and he'd fucking fall over. Holy shit! All right, this to me is a dick move. This entire segment, where he's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna let this play on a loop real quick." This is my favorite post, calling Matt a rape apologist. My favorite post, which, again, if you wanted to be super uncharitable, if you wanted to be a dick, you could turn around and say, Well, Nick is technically agreeing that Matt is a rape apologist by thinking that's his favorite post. But I'm not a dick. I'm not going to say that. I just think Nick's a retard. You can't slander me for calling you retarded, Nick.
I want to take a look at something. Hold on. I think I just found something interesting.
What do you got?
What is Matt's music? Like what does he call that? The super mega music.
I have no idea. I could not tell you his music career to save my life. I saw somebody in chat saying I was a huge fan of SuperMega for a while. Could somebody like let me know the name of Matt's like music? It's just Matt Watson.
Matt Watson? Okay, I'm gonna look that up. Because I have an interesting wrinkle. Matt Watson. Okay, let's see this. I'm almost there, boys. I'm almost there, boys.
If you're new to the channel, make sure you sub and like. We're going over Nick's bullshit. I don't like Nick's Not Green. I agree with Matt that he could be 100% fucking mad at Nick's Not Green. He is well within his right to be like, fuck this guy.
Bro.
What do you got? What you got?
Show the stream.
Oh,
this Spotify playlist.
Oh, dude.
Show this Spotify artist. This person named Denton. This is Nickisnotgreen's page, right? This is his Spotify. He makes music.
Isn't he a band with Ethan?
I don't give a fuck. He keeps saying this is Nickisnotgreen's music, and he says, oh, nobody really cares about Matt Watson's music career. Here is Matt Watson absolutely fucking mogging him in numbers.
Let's see his numbers. So you have Denton, most popular video song, 1 million listens. Matt, 2 million. 6 million.
Look at the monthly listeners.
Almost 200K, 7,000. Holy shit, he's mogging him. He's fucking mogging him.
He's talking about who even cares about Matt Watson's music career. Clearly a lot more people didn't care about your career, buddy.
Bro, he's mogging him. Like, I don't care about numbers really, but that's a funny one. He's mogging the shit out of him.
I care about it because he brought it up.
He brought it up. He brought it up, so it's fair game.
Yeah.
That's mogging the shit out of him.
Nobody cares about Matt Watson's music career. Well, nobody cares about yours either.
Yeah, nobody gives an absolute fuck about yours, dude. I know small bands here in Buffalo that have more daily listeners. My roommate's boyfriend has more monthly listeners than you fucking do. God damn it, Nick. All right, let's keep going. I'm at 2240, just letting you know. Yo, Gaji, Turkey Tom's diss track solos Nick's discography. So true! So true.
Shout out, Tom.
Shout out, Tom.
We can keep watching it. I don't think anyone minds letting this loop on repeat. We could just let this go. If you want me to do this for the rest of the video, I could. I know the voice.
Do you hear that? If he wanted to keep the loop going on the rape apologist getting punched in the face video, he could do that for the rest of the video if he wanted to, because he likes that idea. You could be uncharitable and say that Nick is calling Matt a rape apologist. He's not saying it directly. He's not saying it directly, but the actions shown.
Here, I'm gonna make this easy for us. I'm gonna go into his second video because I'm pretty sure he says it. I'm gonna use the transcript to find it.
All right, I'm gonna keep going. I'm at 22.
Yeah, you keep going.
Messed up, but please understand. SuperMega's Matt's magnum opus. And you have another post from here by an 8+ year fan of SuperMega that says, they've been here since the Syndigo days, a channel that Matt and Ryan used to be a part of, and I just can't do this shit anymore. Time and time again, SuperMega has revealed to be continually doing dumb shit, and their content isn't really that funny anymore. I live near a place where Matt was playing live, and I almost got a ticket, but I'm glad I didn't. After all the awful stuff that Lex went through and that shit that he allegedly said about Daniel, I'm really disgusted. And what this fan is...
This is the part that I'm going to lose my fucking mind on. Like, we've been laughing at him and ripping into him this whole time. This is the part where me and Schleepy are going to lose our fucking minds because we're both on the same page about this Daniel shit, right? Like, I fucking cannot stand what Nick says here.
referencing there is a close friend of Ryan and Matt who used to be a part of this channel, Syndigo. Daniel was the third member of this YouTube channel, and he ended up taking his life a number of years ago. And despite the fact that this seemed to be a big turning point in Matt and Ryan's career, and it seems to be something that affected them even to this day, Lex and, as we'll learn in the future, other former employees of SuperMega have claimed that Matt had made a lot of jokes about what happened to Daniel. And even
that is not your fucking place to say shit about the grief of two friends that lost their best friend. That is not your fucking place. That is not Lex's fucking place. That is nobody's place other than Matt and fucking Ryan. The fact that you soy bitch motherfucker, you, Lex, all of these people are douchebags for bringing up a dead man as an own to show that they're shitty people. Fuck you, Nick. Fuck you, Lex. And fuck you, Rav. Fuck you, Leighton. Fuck all of you little bitches that think that you could use a dead person as an own.
They're so slimy.
I said it in the last live stream, and I'm going to say it fucking now. Dragging the dead into an argument for YouTube drama makes you look like a fucking asshole. You look like the people that bring up Etika Takeem all the fucking time, and everyone shits on those people all the time. Fuck you. Never never fucking use a dead man's name. Fuck off. No wonder Sneeko put you in the soy collage, you fucking bitch.
He's so soy though.
Bro!
To be fair, he's such a soy looking dude.
Dude, I made fun of Sneeko for the soy collage because Critical and Tom were in it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I used to make fun of that. But I never defended Nickisnotgreen in that collage. I only defended like Tom and Critical. Everyone else in that collage still kind of like fits in there. Like Ryan Beard, you have Nick, you have fucking couple of other people like Hassan. Yeah, they're all soy. You can fit them all in there.
Soy.
You could fit them in there. But fuck you, Nick. That's a fucked up thing to do. You and your friends are fucking assholes for doing this.
Check this timestamp I just sent you.
All right.
we went from posts about
Nope.
So this is on the part 2. This is just a backup that he does with his own words say rape apologist.
Matt being a rape apologist and getting punched in the face, and then suddenly we have posts that say things like,
now, I don't care.
I think people went way too far.
You know, I don't care that he's like reading off what somebody else said. The fact that he's saying it and saying we went over that he's a rape apologist, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
That's enough for me. That's insane. Honestly, if I'm Matt, right there,
I'd sue him.
right there, that's a
sue him.
lawsuit.
I'd sue his ass like almost instantaneously.
That's a lawsuit. Because he's knowingly misinforming the public, because people know, like, to his knowledge, it's at worst a sexual assault. Say he's a rape apologist.
You know what's the funniest part of this? He puts what someone says, I think we went too far, and Matt and Ryan didn't deserve a lot of hate they received. He puts that in air quotes.
Yeah.
Fuck this guy. We're not even done with the first video yet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, let's not go too far with this one.
We just needed to confirm that, if I'm being perfectly honest. But again, my stance still is here. Fuck you for bringing a dead man into this conversation. A guy you didn't
100%.
even know, that Lex didn't know, that Leighton. None of these people knew who the fuck Daniel was on a personal or content level. They just know his name because of Matt and Ryan. Fuck you.
Called him a coward at some point for what he did. In Lex's video, one of the details she mentioned that wasn't as relevant to the main story was that
it wasn't relevant at all. Not as relevant, relevant at all. It was not relevant to bring up half of the shit that Lex brought up. I said in the last live stream, and I'm going to say it here, half of the shit Lex brought up was unnecessary, petty bullshit. That's all it was.
Matt actually cheated on a long-term girlfriend of his very recently within the
Oh, hooray. We're getting into the cheating girlfriend part. Like anyone fucking cares, Nick. Like, what is the
So
point?
unnecessary.
What is the point? This is not involving the essay anymore. This is just Matt, quote unquote, cheating on his girlfriend. Let's see if he actually cheated on his girlfriend. Because there's a part in Matt's response that we go over where he's like, we were on a 2-week break. Does that sound like you're in a relationship?
Yeah, does that sound like cheating to you?
Is it shitty that you're on a 2-week break and you fuck someone else? Sure. But does that mean you're a horrible fucking person that would cover up sexual assault? No. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Past year, and not only did that, but cheated on the girl that he cheated on his girlfriend with a sex worker by the name of Morgue Pie, as we came to find out. Morgue Pie ended up going on a stream and talking about her experience with Matt Watson after seeing what Lex had to say.
I could literally sum up the Morgue Pie thing in 2 seconds. Matt fucked her. She caught feelings. He didn't want to keep being with her. Wow. I just did Nick's entire segment in 3 seconds maximum.
Let's just be real, dude. Okay, I hate to say this, but
Who cares?
Who the fuck? Who the fuck? First off, who cares? But who the fuck wants to be in a relationship with somebody who has videos of them getting fucked online?
Who gives a shit?
Like, who wants that?
Who fucking cares? Matt got his dick wet. Wow. Wow, such a fucking terrible fucking thing to bring up. What an asshole.
New donation from Final Flash.
Final Flash.
That's
with
why
the
he's a
direct-
rape apologist, actually.
God damn it, bro. Let's see here. Final Flash. Is it just me or does his cunt... Wait.
What?
Is it just me or does his cunt has a very punchable face? I bet he meant to say this cunt has a very punchable face. All right. I was like, what? I was like, what are you saying? Yes, Nick has a very punchable face. Like, I'll admit it, just like everybody kind of was in high school, you get shoved around a little. Nick would be the kid that everybody would shove around. Like, even the low totem pole kids would push 100%. Nick around. Like, that's the kind of energy I'm getting from Nick.
In her video, and someone from the SuperMega subreddit put together a stream recap of what she was talking about. I will link that below, or I'm sure you can find it on her Twitch stream if you want to.
You see this huge Morgue Pie stream recap right here? Chat, you see this massive thread? I just summed it up for you in 3 seconds. There's no reason to read it. There's no reason to read it. Matt just didn't want to hang out with her after they fucked. Oh my God, the horror. A man or a woman has a one-night stand with a girl and the girl or guy catches feelings and the other person doesn't feel that way about them. Holy shit, Matt is a horrible human being. He's the worst. He's a monster. How
dare he not fall in love after one night of sex?
How dare he fuck somebody and then not reciprocate their feelings? How dare he? These people are so soft. It's annoying. Like, they're so sad. DSP would bully Nickisnotgreen. He actually would. Back in the Evo days, he definitely would have. All right, let's keep going.
Watch the entire thing, but let's talk about what she said here. Morgue says that Matt started talking to her in the DMs. He was flirtatious and didn't mention a girlfriend until they had been DMing consistently. Matt and his girlfriend at the time were together for about 4 years, I think. He started texting Morgue about being in a really rough place mentally. He texted her that he was upset because his friends found out that he was cheating on his ex, who goes by the name Annabelle, with a girl by the name of Zeph. Zeph is actually a pretty popular musician who Matt ended up dating, and if
Get to the point, Nick. Come on. No one cares about this shit. Not a single person should care about the time frame of this 24 up to... Holy shit, the Morgue's recap is long.
Insane.
It goes up to 32 minutes. I'm not listening to this fucking bullshit part. I'm not listening to it. Where's the latent part? Yeah, where's the latent part?
It does nothing to support the, like, Lex allegation. It does nothing to support that Matt had a negative contributing role in the Lex allegation. Like, it's meaningless.
It really is. It's unnecessary.
Morgue but it also seems 100%. Like there was some sort of 2-week.
I skipped to... Okay, he even brings up the 2-week break. Who fucking cares, asshole? No one fucking care. Okay, where is this? Oh, okay, now we're getting to the latent stuff. I love Leighton.
Whoa.
I love him. I love his schizophrenia. There's something you need to know about me, Shalipi. I love schizophrenic people. I think they're the most entertaining people on planet Earth. And Leighton is the worst kind of schizophrenic, the one that ruins other people's lives, not their own. You know what I mean?
I feel it. Yeah, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like a lol cow is a schizophrenic, and you're like, that's kind of crazy. What did he say this time? Leighton is a schizophrenic that will try to take you down with his schizophrenia. That's not that funny.
In involuntary gestures.
Involuntary gesture. Leighton is that. And I will stand by this point till the day I die that Leighton is a budding lol cow. Just wait. Just wait.
I didn't even think of that.
He is a budding lol cow. Just prime for milking. I'm not comparing him to the White Bowser. Do not ever bring that up.
Somebody pointed out in the comments, Kyberian, I think that's how you say his name. This has quote unquote, why do all the girls go for jerks instead of guys like me energy? 100%.
That's 100%. So true. That's so true. All right, I want to listen to the Leighton stuff. This dude is funny. When Matt fucking responded to Leighton, it was beautiful.
And again, was like.
Also, keep in mind that Leighton is best friends with Lex's boyfriend now. Remember that. Keep that drilled into your brain.
Lex's boyfriend's Peethan, right?
Yep, that's the guy that we talked about.
I think that matters for sure. I think the thing that matters the most is Nick's relationship to Peethan. That's
the next thing. That's the next stage up. That's what we're gonna go over after this. That's the next stage up.
So without SuperMega actually saying anything to their audience. Leighton is a friend of Lex's and was one of the only people who she truly could confide in during that time when.
I thought Rav was the one that she can confide in during that time, because Rav was the one that informed Matt first, or at least got more information of the altercation with Dom and Lex, and told Matt more of the information on a patio step. Am I correct?
So yeah, this is what we wrote down, right? It was Rav claims that they found out about it while they were hanging out with Matt and Ryan. And Matt and Ryan had received a phone call, and that's how Rav found out about it. Mm-hmm. And then where is it? Matt claims that. Let me see where I can find this. Yeah, so Rav claims they were a bystander when Matt and Ryan received the phone call. Matt claims that Rav told him on the balcony. Those were the contradicting statements from Matt and Rav.
So how is Leighton the only one that she could talk to when Rav came out in support of her and even corroborated a lot of what Lex was saying?
Yeah. Lex had plenty of people to go to. I mean, even Nick.
Yeah, there was a lot of people to go to. And she did go to Rav. So it's not just Leighton.
But if you have options, it's harder to seem like a victim.
Mr. Frag, I don't know how to say your full name, bro. We've already gone over the Dawn stuff, and we already discussed the Dawn stuff. If you want to watch that live stream where I talk about that more in depth, you're more than welcome to watch that after this one, just so you can understand my position on it.
They both were associated with SuperMega. Leighton was also the only openly gay employee that worked at SuperMega and very.
Oh God, here we go. The openly gay stuff. This was my favorite part of Nick's video because it gets blown out by Matt fucking immediately. Now, if you don't remember, chat, Leighton is a gay man, just like Nick stated, and that they also were an employee of SuperMega. SuperMega makes jokes about everything. They made a lot of gay jokes. And Leighton, in his stream, said he was not comfortable with the gay jokes. If you watch Matt's response, they have text messages with Leighton saying, I love the gay jokes. I love this. There was even a clip of where Leighton walked in with his cock and balls out, and his cock, readily presentable on the podcast, walking into the room and saying gay jokes with them. So how does Leighton have an issue with the gay jokes now after he was fired and got a severance versus when he didn't care and he was cool with the gay jokes? But Nick refuses to do the research. He just goes based on what his good friend Ethan probably told Nick and what Leighton probably told Ethan. This is the problem with videos like these. This is the problem with making videos when you know the people involved. You're going to take the words of the people around you. You're not going to look into shit yourself. Nick, this video's ass for that reason.
Leighton is like the prime example, okay? And it hurts to say this, right? But Leighton makes people not want to hire gay people. No, I'm joking.
Holy shit. Bruh.
One gay joke, and everyone goes crazy.
One gay joke. I'm going to have to do 7. All right, dude, whenever you're ready. Let's see here.
Quickly became a, I guess, punchline for SuperMega over multiple months that Layden was working with them. Layden says that Jim does no work in the office. Layden had to carry his workload during his time at the SuperMegaplex. He hangs out to make the boys laugh, micromanages other people's work, and that's it. He mentioned that Justin also does not like Jim. Again, Jim being the freak who kissed Lex after she told him that she was sexually assaulted.
Which Jim is a freak for that. Let's just be honest here. Let's just be fucking
Jim
real.
is insane, dude.
Jim
I don't even know where to go with that guy.
I don't even know where to go with Jim. I think Jim's fucked, if I'm being perfectly honest. If somebody's telling you about their harrowing experience, maybe not kiss them, dude. Like,
here's the one thing I'll say. Okay? People can bond over trauma, and I don't think it's impossible to feel in the moment that, like, you know, here's the thing. I'll just be real. I've never asked a girl if I could kiss her. You kind of just lean in, and then you see if they go the other 50%. And if they don't, then you know that they don't want to kiss you, right? It's like, I think people, like, tend to think that you need to, like, sign a contract in order for consent to be normal.
Mm-hmm.
So on the one hand, I think, listen, Jim already confessed that, like, he felt that it was unconsensual. So it's like, there's no sense in defending the guy. The guy's weird. But there was a very clear case where, bro, if you review Lex's video, Lex claims that they kissed and then she followed him into a fucking closet. I don't know, dude. I feel like at a certain point, this has to be, like, Lex has to kind of be responsible for what she's doing, you know?
where she's like, maybe not follow the guy who just kissed you into the closet.
Yeah, like, you're saying that you didn't want to be kissed. So this guy stands up and then walks over to an office and then walks over to a closet in the office and you follow him? Like, bro, where is the personal responsibility of keeping yourself safe?
It's just ridiculous. All right, there's a SuperMega fan in chat. I'm gay, and not once after all my years of watching SuperMega did I ever feel like Matt and Ryan did not like gay people. They direct the jokes at themselves. That's the thing. That's why Leighton's a fucking lol cow. Because now that it's advantageous for him to dogpile with all the shit coming out, now he can say he was uncomfortable with the gay jokes. Now he can do that because he already had an axe to grind after they fired him. Leighton's a bitch. Leighton's a stupid bitch. Like,
Leighton's a lot of words.
Yeah, Leighton's a cunt. He's a lot of words. There's a lot of words to call Leighton. Jesus.
And I put a photo of him up on the screen. It's literally what he looks like.
Man, pick the worst photo of the guy. I'm not defending Jim. I'm not defending Jim.
I love soy jacking.
But that's a solid soy jack. I'll admit
Hold on,
that.
I gotta pull up a good soy jack.
I'll admit that. That's a solid soy jack. Let's see here. Let's keep going.
Layden said his working relationship with them went to hell after last summer's creator clash. Matt and Ryan would apparently make jokes about Daniel's suicide at the office, specifically towards Layden, who they knew had a history of suicide attempts and suffers from BPD. The boys would joke about
Oh my god, BPD. Chat. Sleepy doesn't know this. How do I feel about people that use BPD as a defense for their actions? Chat, I want you to tell Sleepy how I feel about it. I don't want to say it because I know my chat knows how I feel about it. When somebody says I have BPD and they use it as a defense for their actions. I want my chat to answer that question for me.
Inform me, chat.
They're all lying. They say I love it. They're all liars. They're all liars. I got a hots for them. Fuck you. You're a bunch of trolls. I'm gonna ban you all like DSP bans his trolls. Bro, listen. My stance on people using BPD as like a fucking goddamn shield, you're a loser. You're an actual fucking loser. You're somebody that should not be in a position of power because you need to handle it yourself. And if you say something stupid, your BPD doesn't give you a free pass shield to say crazy shit because your BPD was acting up. Sorry. I don't really have sympathy for that. If you're saying life ruination allegations, you are a loser to me. I don't care if you have BPD. I don't care if you have a mental disability. You say something that's trying to ruin someone's life and you blame BPD on it, fuck you.
If you're mentally ill, get therapy, bro.
Get therapy.
Like, that's it. If you're at the point where you're accusing people of sexual assault, if you're at the point where you're like literally trying to ruin people's life, maybe, just maybe, get some normal pills, okay?
Dude, this QTV felony guy, I'm gonna kill him. At the end of the day,
I gotta dip. I appreciate being on the stream. I
Of
fucking
course.
cannot stand Nick is not green. Boys,
what's your final thoughts? Like legitimate final thoughts.
my final thoughts, okay? Nick is not green. This is somebody who, outside of just this drama, has been like consistently an absolute like cringe lord when it comes to covering drama. Oftentimes he'll bring up things that really don't make sense. He reminds me a lot. I've said this in the past. He's basically the white D'Angelo Wallace. I don't like people who virtue signal things like, oh my god, he said a slur in a joke, he's a bad guy. And this is the type of vibe I get from Nick is not green. So if you guys also dislike Nick is not green, what I recommend is you donate to the Chris the Narc show so that we can like increase the funding, okay? And absolutely BTFO this guy, right?
Eventually we'll get there. I appreciate it. Guys, I'm going to link Sleepy's video that he just did on the Nick's Not Green video, so make sure you guys watch that.
After the stream.
Yeah, after the stream. After the stream, I will 100% be plugging it, so make sure you watch it after the stream. He makes great content.
The end of the day,
and
BPD is
again,
the
he is the
biggest
legend
fetish.
who helped make the Turkey Tom diss track on Tipster.
Show them the photo I just put.
You put the photo. It's just a fucking. It's a
Talking
great
about soy jacks and diss tracks.
This is soy jacks. This is such a fucking banger soy jack meme.
Bro, it was so fucking embarrassed. Like I could feel how embarrassed he was like when we were filming, because like it's a packed fucking stadium.
He's soy jacking.
Yeah, literally, it was so good. He committed. I respect it.
He's a cool dude. I appreciate you coming on, man.
No worries. Take care, guys.
See you, man. All right, that was Sleepy. Make sure you guys check out his channel at the end of the stream. I will 100% make sure to pull up his video and link it in chat for you guys. It's a very, very good video. I forgot to give him mod status. There you go. Anytime a creator works with me, I give him mod status. All right, let's keep going over the Nick's Not Green video. And then we're going to go over his second video. And I have yet to see it. Sleepy's seen it, but I haven't.
Layden coming in to shoot up the office because he was the only one in the Super Megaplex who took their jokes seriously. Layden told Matt and Ryan about giving a free book to a gay kid his mother knew who had attempted suicide after being outed, and they refused to take it seriously, basically making a bunch of jokes. After Layden got upset, Ryan left the room to go scroll on his phone while Matt attempted to blanket the situation to get Layden to stop being upset. In the last 2.5 years, Layden says the boys made around 5 jokes he can remember where the punchline was Daniel killing himself. In August 2021, on his first day...
That is not your place to put out. They are handling their grief and their trauma in the ways that they handle it. Everyone handles it differently. Some people make jokes about it. Some people get depressed about it. Some people let it consume their entire lives. If Matt and Ryan are making jokes about it, who cares? If they're not using it as an own. They're not using it in drama to throw in the face of other people. If they want to make a joke, is it in poor taste? Sure. But that's their trauma and their burden to bear. That's not for you guys to throw that into a fucking YouTube drama video. You fucking leech.
Time, Matt yelled at Layden that he was going to show him his dick and balls since he would probably see it at some point anyways, and then flashed Layden, which everyone in the office laughed at, even though Layden found it disturbing. Matt...
Bullshit, because Layton flashed his cock and balls to Matt too. So, Nick, how do you not do research? How do you not do research? How do you have an audience of over 700,000 motherfuckers that are just as soy as you, and you don't do research? It's insane to me.
Ryan used the N-word with the hard R often around the office. He mentioned how when you join SuperMega as an employee, there's a joke that gets told by Matt and Ryan that Chuck E. Cheese has a middle name and the punchline is the N-word. Seems like a funny joke. Ryan...
Who cares? Holy shit. Who gives a fuck? And it's not even that joke. Like, Leighton is presenting Matt and Ryan to be the biggest assholes on the planet, and Nick is just fully taking his word for it.
Would also write the N-word on a sticky note, hard R and all, and would put it on Justin's computer as he edited to shock him, but would destroy the note if he saw Leighton come anywhere nearby. This happened multiple times. The full extreme drunk Mario Kart video that SuperMega put up on their channel, it has footage so bad that they could never release the unedited version. He didn't really elaborate on this as much as I hoped, but he did mention that at some point Matt and Ryan measured each other's bare assholes in front of Leighton as a bit, which made him uncomfortable. SuperMega's attorney has threatened Leighton with legal action for even discussing the boys in private with his friends because it violates his NDA.
You put that in fucking air quotes. It's an NDA. I'm still under probably the NDA I had for the show. I'm not fucking spilling the beans on fucking Keemstar shit. Why would I? I signed a contract. Shut the fuck up. Unless they did horrible shit to you, shut the fuck up. And the thing is that Leighton has no reason to break the NDA. They did all the right things when they fired him. Leighton is just a scorned fucking employee. That's all he is. He's a boy, old employee that they fired for incompetence, and that's all he's going to remain as.
Matt filmed and took pictures of Leighton without his consent while he was in the urinal multiple times, including at a bar when Leighton was drunk and at the Super Megaplex. Leighton was raped as a 15-year-old by a YouTuber, and a lot of the experiences he had while working for SuperMega were extremely triggering for him as a result, since most of the negative experiences he had consisted of them violating without consent. As stated,
but he could show his cock and balls to Matt and Ryan and laugh about it, but they can't do that to him too. Like, that's insane. Yes, is it horrible that he had an incident with another YouTuber? Yes. I am not devaluing that. What I am going to devalue is the fact that Nick is pretending that Matt and Ryan can't do it, but Leighton can.
by Lex, Leighton promised that Matt and Ryan would be sympathetic to Lex about the Don situation, and he was totally blindsided about how everything went down. Matt pulled Leighton into a meeting and repeated the classic magnum opus line again. Matt made sure to clarify that since Don was a contracted employee, that they didn't actually have to fire him for the sexual assault, and both of the boys were excited that Lex didn't want to escalate the situation further and get the authorities or other people outside of the company involved. They immediately phased Don out and then made a point to never bring Kelly back publicly. After Ryan's birthday, everyone in the Plex, outside of Rav and Lex, would totally ice Leighton out, speaking over him or leaving the room when he spoke. Leighton really wanted the guys to know how much he appreciated them and would clean Ryan's house for him and do any odd job they asked of him. Lex mentioned in her video how eventually all cleaning was just designated to Leighton because it was easier for one person to do it. Leighton had been talking to Justin for weeks about how the boys were looking for any reason to fire Leighton. He tried to explain to them some issues he had while working there, which they immediately shut down. Then they explained that if he didn't sign an NDA, they wouldn't give him the severance check that they owe him. Justin puts up with a lot of shit from the boys behind the scene. He didn't elaborate on this either, but he referenced the immature behavior he dealt with during his time working for SuperMega. And finally, Ryan would openly misgender a trans woman that he dated behind her back constantly at work.
Hey, guess what? Hey, guys, let me kind of like slap something on the table here that Nick is just completely stupid on and made an assumption that this trans or this trans individual is upset with. Leighton accused SuperMega of being transphobic and dead naming someone. This is where the tipster in me comes out. Did you know that this individual, drumroll, according to Matt and Ryan, is non-binary and doesn't fucking care about pronouns? Oh no, they're gender fluid. My bad. Not non-binary. They are gender fluid. They don't care about pronouns. Leighton automatically assumed that they were being transphobic and tried to use that as a fucking own against them. Do you see what's happening here? Leighton is throwing shit at the wall, hoping that it would stick, and Nickisnotgreen is allowing this to happen in his fucking video. Picture that. Nickisnotgreen is allowing this bullshit to fly. What happened to the SA allegations, Nick? Why in the fuck are you talking about all this other shit that doesn't fucking matter?
work and with friends. Matt would also engage in this, and there were many times that they would casually refer to the woman as a man/guy or straight up call her Ryan's boyfriend. Layden also
Gender fluid and jokes. Who cares, Nick? Who cares?
got in a past SuperMega controversy where they had a pop-up shop. There's a lot more information on it, but Layden ended up having to post an apology, taking the blame for something that SuperMega approved at this event. And if we go to the comments, someone says, Layden spoke to Justin today and says that we should give him the benefit of the doubt. He was the kindest person at SuperMega and he has a good heart. Layden also asked to give him encouragement in him.
Why is he listening to a random fucking Redditor? Why is he reading random comments from a random fucking Redditor? I get it's in the context of the latent thread and that people were watching, but why are you taking that at face fucking value? Why are you taking that at face value? It's a fucking Reddit comment. I'm getting pissed. This video is shit. Him talking about the Lex stuff, whatever. Don't really have a problem with it. I think it's bullshit. It's what it is. I'm not going to devalue her experience. Do I personally believe that Don should have his fucking life ruined for this? No. I'll say it again. I said it in the first live stream, and I'll say it again. But this whole section on SuperMega is fucking stupid.
Creating his own content. He said that, quote, Matt and Ryan do not deserve Justin and emphasized that Justin's a young man that was manipulated by Matt and Ryan. Yeah, that was a lot.
Manipulated how? Manipulated how? How was he manipulated? Explain that to me. Don't just brush past it. How was he manipulated? How did they manipulate him? Because they acknowledged what Lex wanted and didn't want to make a scene out of it initially? And kept it under wraps? God fucking forbid. I need a new chair. This thing fucking sucks. But like, God forbid.
Right? This shit sucks. All I really want out of this video and out of this situation is for the victims in the story to be heard and to have a voice.
Okay, perfect. You did that with the Lex stuff. The rest of the video is incredibly unnecessary. It is inflammatory for no reason. You used the definitive statement of hiding your friend's sexual assault, covering up a sexual assault. Then you also endorse a Reddit post of somebody calling Matt a rape apologist. The fuck is wrong with you? This video is bad. Really, really, really fucking bad, Nick. And the fact that you think it's good and it's still up on your fucking channel after Matt and Ryan came out with their evidence is shocking to me.
I think the fact that Lex went through hours and hours of shooting to put together this video to talk about her experience really speaks to just how much effort victims have to put into their story.
Okay, I'm going to say something a little fucking nuclear. Any idiot with a camera can put together a video. Any idiot can get on camera and make a video. Yes. Does she deserve to have her voice heard? Sure. Absolutely. I'm not taking that away from her. But stop trying to uplift her like she's a fucking messiah. He did not rape her. It was a really fucking weird situation. She could have put it down to less than 18 minutes and focused on the right thing, which is the Dawn stuff, which she perceives to be a situation that happened to her between her and Dawn. Why the fuck was there an additional 2 goddamn hours of SuperMega shit in there? Because they were like, when are you moving out? I want to give you money to find an apartment, but I don't want to take it because I feel uncomfortable and I feel like there's strings attached to this. Okay, then you could stay in our house. You just have to find a place. I would have put a down payment on a Jeep. What is the point of the additional 2 hours? It's unnecessary. And I said it in the first live stream, and I'm going to say it the fuck again. It is unnecessary filler for no fucking reason. She can feel what she feels about the Dawn shit, but the fact that she wrote the additional shit about the goddamn Super Megaplex, that is unnecessary. And Nick trying to parade her as like this virtuous person that did nothing wrong throughout this entire situation is shocking to me. And what I mean by that situation, I mean the Super Mega shit after what happened with Dawn and Jim. Trying to put the onus on Matt and Ryan after that? Fuck you.
In order to, I guess, alleviate some of the fear that their story will not be taken seriously. This is, of course, something that happened to Lex in the past and something that followed her into this situation where, unfortunately, Matt and Ryan didn't only drop the ball, but I don't even know what word I have to like explain.
Where did they drop the ball? Like, realistically, how bad did they fuck up? Did they have poor communication skills? Sure. That's something to criticize. Did they go to the police? No. But did they release Dawn and believe her and work with her and had her live at their place, help take care of her? Did they not do all those things? How did they fuck up this hard, Nick? How was it this much of a fuck up? I'm curious what you have to say in your next video, Nick.
What kind of people we are talking about here. These are people who have worked with a lot of the creators that you guys know and love. These are people who have had the power to have an audience that was as tight-knit as Super Mega's audience. They had a lot of people who had their back through a lot of shit that Super Mega went through. And to have all of...
What shit? Matt having sex with an OnlyFans girl on a 2-week break of his relationship. Ryan sexting a fan and cheating on his girlfriend or partner. And that person is of age and consenting. Yeah, is it weird to DM your fans? Absolutely. But like, how is that a horrible person? Making gay jokes when they're known to make gay jokes, and Leighton also did the gay jokes by showing his cock and balls? How? What did they do that was so fucking terrible, Nick? You come across like somebody who is personally invested in this story, not as somebody who is looking at this objectively. That is your issue. That is why you're getting the shit that you're getting from Chud Logic, me, Sleepy, and FPS Diesel, and a handful of other people. Don't know who else, but I know that there's going to be more eventually. And I can tell you right now, Nick, you come across as a biased source. You come across as a biased source. You come across as somebody who had whispers in his ear from his friends. Ergo, example 1. Let's pull this up. Now, guys, I'm going to show you a Twitter account. This Twitter account belongs to Lex's current boyfriend. April 16th of 2022. Happy birthday to my favorite little man, my brother in Christ, Nickisnotgreen. Mind you, this is the current boyfriend of Lex. He's one of the most genuine, intelligent, and talented people I've ever met. I'm so lucky to call him a friend. Give him some love today. A lot of that happening right now. So, I'm showing this part. Just kind of like build up suspense for what I'm about to show you now. Why does nobody talk about Nickisnotgreen anymore? September 23rd of 2022. This tweet is supposed to be a joke, but to the people thinking Nick is actually problematic in any way whatsoever, I highly encourage you to use your brain just a little bit. Nick is one of the most consistent, thoughtful, and considerate creators on the platform. Certainly in the commentary space. And if he's problematic, then fucking everyone is. I am trying to show you something that Nick may have biases. That Ethan, the boyfriend of Lex, is a very, 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 very close friend of Nick's. or at least a friend in general. This is why you look biased as shit, Nick. It looks like your really good friend may have gotten in your fucking ear and you didn't think before uploading that first fucking video before the responses. You look like you were involved in the latent shit. You look like you were in a circle of people. I can't prove it, but it comes across as a gay op. I can't prove it. Mind you, I don't have DM records. I don't have some form of fucking group chat screenshots. I don't have any of that. My gut feeling is screaming that there's something in the water there. Because of this. Ethan's proclivity to try and slander SuperMega throughout the time frame. Let's listen to Matt's parts about Ethan.
Multiple times, up the email, and it soon proved true. Shortly after, one of Leighton's best friends, who is Lex's boyfriend, tried to instigate drama on Twitter by lying and saying that he has heard us say the N-word multiple times. In reality, we've only met this individual a handful of times, and it's mostly been at social events and always accompanied by Lex. So to think that we would just casually be dropping the N-word with a hard R in front of not only someone who's a stranger, but also a woman of color.
Oh, Nick, your little best friend Ethan looks like he's been saying some fucked shit. It looks like he has an axe to grind against Matt and Ryan and has been doing it for a while. He's an axe to grind with them, and you made a video with your little best friend running around on Twitter making up lies. You come across biased. You come across biased. See us speaking out about this, we get lumped in with alt-right weirdos, which is cringe. Dude, I'm going to say it right now. Anyone that calls me alt-right, you do not have a brain. You're literally somebody that should have been put into a mental institution the day you were fucking born. The fact that you think that you're going to turn this into a right versus left thing shows how unintelligent you are as a human being, that you can only put yourself in the shoes of it's either us or them. Get electroshock therapy. Get a fucking, what is it? Get a goddamn lobotomy. Get an ice pick shoved up your fucking nose, scramble your brain, and then come back to me when your brain's all, like, fucked up or fixed. I don't know how it works, but whatever. Like, that's my response to all these people. I had to do it with Keffels. I'm more than happy to do it with the Nickisnotgreen fan base. I am more than happy to do that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. He also mentioned the Chuck E. Cheese joke, and I don't think it's a coincidence that a short time before he posted this stuff, Leighton replied to a tweet about SuperMega with a gif of Chuck E. Cheese.
Gay ops. I have a feeling there's some gay ops happening in this fucking retard shit.
Fake eat?
It's my zodiac sign. Who gives a fuck? That shit isn't real. That shit isn't real. Stars trillions of light years away and in a random formations that humans gave significance to does not fucking matter to how your personality is. Sorry, it's a ball of gas trillions of light years away. I don't put any stock into that shit.
Leighton denied that he even knew his friend was going to say anything or that Leighton was involved with this.
He agreed with me.
But I think it's a little too coincidental. That didn't really go anywhere, and then after that, things were relatively quiet for a while. Leighton would frequently slander myself and Ryan to fans on his Discord server. He even went as far as to join a fan's 18-year-old birthday drunken...
So you get where I'm coming from? then Nick may have a little bias? I'm a bit out of the loop. What is a gay op? A gay op is a coordination of people trying to take someone down, or trying to troll them, or trying to spread misinformation about them in a coordinated effort to take that person down. That is a gay op. I know these are terms that a lot of the SuperMega fans have no idea about, but you will not believe how many motherfuckers in the commentary community run gay ops. All the time. Constantly. So many gay ops. So Ethan is a soy boy beta cuck bitch. That's what I have to say about him. But he's best friends with Nick, so that makes sense. Let's listen to Nick's response video. I haven't seen this yet. I'm very curious to see how he's going to handle this.
Hey everyone, so a few days ago I made a video about a friend of mine.
He ran a gay up on that cat. Fuck you, Joe. Listen, it was an accident. Listen, Keem has the dog killing. I have the cat killing. It's okay. It happens. You run over an animal in your life and you get over it. Fucking sucks.
By the name of Lex, putting out a video about her experience with SuperMega and 2 of their employees, including a sexual assault that took place at Matt Watson's house. I would watch that video first, if you haven't, or else this one's not going to really make that much.
Oh, yeah, I watched this. Don't worry, Nick. I watched your video before this one. Don't you worry, little boy. Don't you worry. Take that fucking camo cap off. You've never been in the goddamn woods in your fucking life.
Sense. Again, this is going to be a video.
Oh, that's a weed hat? Okay, it's a weed hat.
That's not the normal kind of stuff we talk about, but I did talk about on Saturday how I was going to make a follow-up to this video, and I want to stick to my word. So let's talk about it. Since my last video, a response from SuperMega and one of their employees has come out, and the public perception of this story is much different than it was a couple days ago. Not only that, but my personal coverage of the story has caused Matt and several of his fans to say false things about me. So I want to clear up some...
This is how you're gonna start. This is how you're gonna start. You're gonna start off the video being like, well, you know, like there were some things I said in here, and they said some false things about me, so I have to respond to this now. Dude, you're the one that fucking said some crazy shit about them. What are you talking about? You were the one that started this. Okay, chat. Let's hear Nick out. Let's hear him out. We listened to his whole video, and we watched the Matt and Ryan responses before. Let's see how Nick weasels his way out of this.
questions and comments that have been thrown my way and try to address.
This is the latest stream of Discord. But to be honest, it's just a mentally unstable man ranting. That's my favorite kind of content. I love mentally unstable people ranting on live streams. That's my favorite content.
Them in a way that I personally think is fair. One of the reasons I wanted to make this video is that on Matt Watson's response video, he claimed that close friends of Layden were suddenly using Lex's video to capitalize off of her story.
A lot of people, mainly Layton and his close friends, have used this as an opportunity to capitalize off of what was initially someone's...
Nick, how didn't these people capitalize off of their story? How didn't they do that? One of them was an OnlyFans girl that Matt had sex with one time and caught feelings for him and jumped on everything else. Then there's the Layton shit, which apparently everyone disavows the Layton shit now. So what do you how didn't they jump on it, Nick? I'm so fucking curious, Nick.
Story of sexual assault. It seems like the story lost its plot and quickly devolved into a dogpile on me and Ryan.
Which it did. The back half of the video definitely did that for Lex. And then it triggered Layton. It triggered that OnlyFans girl. Come on, Nick. How are you going to fucking play this one off? How are you going to play it off, Nick?
Because of this, I want to be clear about why I made this video. I said it in the first video, and I'll say it again. I wanted Lex's story to be told. That's my private...
Then why did you add all the additional SuperMega shit and all that other shit? Why did you do that? If it was about Lex's voice, why did you make it about Matt and Ryan for the majority of the video? Why did you do that? Explain to me. Explain to me, all-knowing Nickisnotgreen. Explain it to me.
I was never once told by Layden to make a video in any of the situation. I've had zero contact with him. I am not a close friend of Layden's. I've only hung out with him a couple of times, and it was always in a social setting. And when Lex was preparing her story,
What about Ethan? Huh? What about Ethan? He's really good friends with Layden. I didn't hear Ethan's name. I didn't hear Ethan in that. I just heard Layden.
was given permission by her to cover it. It was never something that I suggested to Lex, but when she mentioned it, I decided to share her story because she's a friend of mine. I'm not trying to capitalize off of my friend's sexual assault. I never
I can say right here, I don't believe he was trying to capitalize, but I think you did this video in single-handedly the worst fashion imaginable, and you come off as biased as shit. That's my criticism for you, Nick. You come off biased. You come off like you didn't wait. You just jumped on it. There's a difference between purposely capitalizing on a video and trying to put out a video that is incredibly biased. Come on, Nick.
monetize videos like these, and I don't believe that these videos are posed as like great advertisements for my channel. I do not have a secret agenda to my videos. I own 100% of my channel, and I have 0 employees who affect my posts.
Why the fuck does that matter? Why the fuck does that matter? Why the fuck does that matter? Why does that matter? You made the video. What? You made the video. Who cares if you don't have employees? What? I just realized this is a Kristen Dark stream. Yeah, I retired the cop. I retired the hat and glasses. Those will eventually make a comeback for like a retro stream, but for now it's just me and my beautiful face. It's all Tevin's fault. It's all Tevin's fault. But you made the video. Why does that matter if you don't have employees? Why does that matter? Why does that fucking matter? Holy shit. I'm not gonna lie, the reason I stopped the hat and glasses is because the glasses were fucking hurting my eyes, and the hat is way tinier than you think it is. Fuck, it was constricting my head.
In serious stories is not something I enjoy doing, and when Matt insinuates that I was just told by his ex...
Joe? Joe Mama? Joe Mama? What did Joe say? Chris, when's the Wizard 101 stream you promised? When the fuck did I ever promise a Wizard 101 stream? Was that with Bunk? I don't even remember. I don't even remember that. I don't even remember that. I don't even remember. Wasn't it women's glasses for a time in the beginning? Yeah. They were the only sunglasses around, dude. Leave me alone.
Merch designer to make this video about SuperMega. I can't help but feel like he's also trying to discredit other stories that I've told in the past. The stress of like talking publicly about...
Dude, you are known for fucking shit up. Matt doesn't need to help you with that. Matt doesn't need to help you with the fact that people think that you are not that good of a fucking dude that covers this shit. It's not just Matt that thinks that. I thought this about you way before the SuperMega shit. So many people think this about you, Nick. Even without the SuperMega shit. So many people think this about you. What are you talking about? I could probably hit up like 20 creators, and I'm like, what do you think of Nickisnotgreen? They're going to be like, dick. They're going to be like, dick. I have only had one person try to defend you. And then when I told them told them about the video, they were like, oh,
Let's be
fuck.
real, I stopped the cop hate and glasses because you got too many village people jokes.
No, those were funny. The village people jokes were funny. I'll admit it. Those were funny.
The pain that a friend of mine feels, especially when so many people are discounting her story, it's not a fun thing to do. I'm not like having a great time over here spending 2 videos in a week trying to talk about the shit that...
Nobody's saying you're having a good time. People are saying you made a shit video. That's what it was. It's nobody thought you were enjoying this. People just think you're an idiot. Come on, Nick. Come on. There is no way that's what you took away from Matt's video. There's no shot you think of yourself this highly. There's no fucking way. There's no way you think you are this fucking important. That's so amazing.
They did. My intention with this video was only to tell Lex's story, and I will say, I do have some issues with the way I covered the story on Saturday. I do regret taking focus away from Lex's story to add context that I initially thought was necessary, but in hindsight, I regret including it, and I wish to correct that in today's video.
I am curious what he feels like he did wrong, because he didn't say, hey, the shit I added about SuperMega was unnecessary. I should have focused on Lex's story. Like, I'm not here to police what he says or doesn't say or what I think he should have done. I'm just making fun of this guy and criticizing the shit out of him. Do I believe he shouldn't have made the first video in the first place? Yeah. At the minimum, he should have just made a video being like, I support Lex. I don't believe you should. That's just me personally. An example is like what Diesel said in chat. If he made a video about Quite, it wouldn't look good for Quite because Diesel is good fucking friends with Quite. That's why when we did our stream together, we waited until all the information was out there. Huh? I had one of the closest friends, a fucking major allegation a few months ago on my channel. And he didn't make a fucking video. Why did you? Why did you, bitch? What do you regret? I want to hear you out.
Cheers, my dude. Love ya. No homo.
I swear. Okay. Should I do? I will consider. Did I actually? I don't even remember. Fuck me. Fuck me. I may have to do a Wizard 101 stream. We'll do a members only Wizard 101 stream. We'll do a members only.
Regardless, I find it pretty disgusting that Matt would spend 45 minutes trying to show how unfair this treatment has been for him, but then he claims without any evidence that I just made my video because his disgruntled ex-employee told me to. Does Matt think that that's all it takes to get me to make a video about something? I know it's easy to just throw shit up.
Because it comes across that way. That video comes across that way. Was Matt being a little hyperbolic? Probably. Did he slip up and say that you immediately took Leighton at his word and believe it? Probably. The reason that I'm saying that I think you did it is because you used Leighton's fucking entire stream thing. You used Magpie's entire stream breakdown. It looked like you were working in tandem with these people. And I still stand by that. I think, in a sense, you were talking to these people, and they may or may not have fed you more information than necessary because they knew you would make a video on it.
When your channel's not doing great and you only really want to post American Truck Simulator Let's Plays. But I have a real job with a real schedule that I keep up for my audience, and I don't make videos for personal vendettas. I don't see how in this situation I am possibly capitalizing off of a victim story. I think Matt does make a lot of interest.
Because you literally added like almost 20 to 27 minutes of literally just SuperMega shit. That's what you did.
Interesting points in his apology that we will talk about today. But I think that this claim that he kind of ends his response with is extremely in bad faith, and it makes me question his true intentions with all of the claims he's making. But why don't we continue? That's towards the end of his response.
So he's already putting out there that he believes that his intentions with the original video are poor and that he may be hiding something or that he's lying about something. That is literally what he just did. He just fucking started off the video saying that. We are 4 minutes in. He hasn't even gone over the response yet. And he's already 4 minutes in and goes, it calls into question what he's saying about other people in that video. Already putting doubt in his head and doubt into the audience watching that what Matt said, most of it, I don't really believe it because he said something mean about me or something that he thinks about. kind of comes across as poisoning the well, Nick. Just a little bit.
I want to reverse back to where we were before. Since my last video, 3 videos from SuperMega have come out, and it has changed the way that people are viewing the initial story in a pretty big way. On the subreddit, we went from posts about Matt being a rape apologist and getting punched in the face, and then suddenly we have posts that
You gonna disavow the fact that you kind of were like, yeah, you're cool with like the rape apologist thing? Like, do you want to walk that back? Maybe. That was pretty nuclear. And you even played that video on a loop, and you're like, nobody's going to complain about this. I could put this in for the rest of the video. Kind of nice to watch. Nick, are you going to walk that back? Please tell me you're going to walk that back.
say things like, I think people went way too far, and Matt and Ryan didn't deserve a lot of the hate they received.
Why are you putting it in air quotes? Why are you putting it in air quotes, Nick?
And on Lex's video, we suddenly have countless hateful comments that suddenly have mass amounts of likes, accusing her of lying, ruining SuperMega.
Yep, she turned off the comments. She turned off the comments in her video, guys. I didn't tell you that before. Now, I understand why. I understand why she did that.
The next day.
But it kind of shows that she's reading the comments. Just leave the comments up. This is not a good look. I'm not throwing doubt on her story up to like this part. I'm not throwing doubt on that. I'm throwing doubt on all the stuff about her being kicked out of the house and how Matt and Ryan treated her. Like, come on. Come on. I'm not throwing any doubt on it. Just leave it up.
That turn into so many people being disrespected, so many boundaries being crossed. I'm going to follow the story. I'm going...
Oh, wait. Wrong video.
I guess career for no reason, and it all comes off as pretty gross. I think when the video initially happened, there were a lot of close fans of SuperMega who felt betrayed and hurt, and there were a lot of people who kind of did want to support them along the way, but kind of just stayed a little bit more quiet because of what was going on. But the moment that they both made their apologies, it seems like all these people came out of the woodworks and didn't just talk about exactly what Matt said, didn't just convey his points in a mature way, but there's a lot of people who have immediately turned around and claimed that Lex has lied about the whole thing, which makes me wonder if they even watched the response video.
Nobody that I am aware of that is making content is calling Lex a direct liar. I haven't seen Sleepy do it. I haven't done it myself. Diesel's never done it. I don't see a lot of people calling Lex a direct liar. Now, there may be people out there. There's probably people out there calling her a direct liar. Okay. That's their opinion. Sorry. Personally, for me, I believe, personally, the miscommunication aspect. She can feel that it was forced on her. She's more than welcome to fucking feel that way. She's more than welcome to come forward with her story. I am not devaluing that. What I am going to say is I personally wouldn't call it sexual assault or fucking rape. Like Nick said, he called Dom a literal rapist with no evidence, just word of mouth. That's my issue. There's no evidence. It's word of mouth. It's word of mouth. I am somebody that is totally for believing victims, but never, ever, without evidence, jump to the conclusion that this person is guilty. This is America. Innocent until proven guilty. If you do not live by that, you are part of the problem. Don admitted it. Let's go over Don's tweet again, shall we? Let's go over that again. Don't I have it? I thought I had it pulled up. Don. Let's see here. Discussed many times about being intimate with each other, had sexual boundaries in beds. My intention was never to hurt her. I should have tried to ask her again. I shouldn't have tried to ask her again, even if it was twice. I did not know how she felt at the time, since the rest of the night included discussion on proper behavior and consensual intimacy. I'm not saying that I should be excused for what I did, but I clearly shouldn't. But it was never my intention to harm her in any way. I tried to apologize to her the night it happened, the night we broke up, and the night when we went back home via Discord. Let's see here. There's also another part where he said it came across as a miscommunication. Invited over to Matt to stay over the place for the first week. We have been intimate since day one, but on the third night, had asked her for oral sex. At first, she said no because she had a cold sore. Later, I asked again, and she said yes, but to be careful, not too rough. During the intimate act, I pushed down her head, after which she recoiled and told me I was being too rough. Then I profusely apologized. He said, she said. It is what it is. She is entitled to feel the way that she feels, but I am not going to call this guy a rapist without evidence.
In the first place. You'd think based off of a lot of these comments that SuperMega has completely resolved themselves and maybe some crazy shit happened and Lex devised an evil plan to cancel SuperMega, but surprise, it's a lot more nuanced than that. I don't know why people think that victims always want to just be like...
I listened to what she said at face value, and I said she could feel the way that she feels. Not devaluing that. There's just not enough evidence to definitively say that the man is a rapist. And if you believe that he is a straight up rapist without legitimate evidence, you're kind of fucking stupid.
super villains, and that's like that's their only goal. Like they're not actual damage and hurt people on the inside. And that's not me excusing some of the things we're going to talk about in this video, but I do think people were a little bit too quick to come out and support Matt and Ryan just because they agreed that they were pieces of shit in some of these circumstances. So my plan for this video is to touch on each response separately in chronological order to how they were released, and then I want to talk about how I could have done better in my coverage of the story, as well as what I think about their stories and where we can conclude with a lot of this. I do want to know your guys' honest thoughts in the comments. I please ask you to respond in a mature way after watching the entire video. If you do want to watch any of the videos we talk about, I'm going to put them in the links down below. I think it is helpful context to hear everything everyone has to say. Okay, so pretty soon after I posted my video on Saturday, Jim, the producer slash employee of SuperMega who kissed Lex in the story from the original video, he came out with an apology.
Who is everybody? Who is everyone? Because the SuperMega subreddit have flipped. Most people that are covering this story don't agree with you. What, is it just Twitter retards? Is it just Twitter retards like Snoobaru? Is it just them? SuperMega said that they stand by Lex, and they can, and they did. That's totally fine. I'm not saying what happened to her didn't happen. I'm just saying that I don't believe the man's life should be fucking ruined. That's it. It's called a nuanced take. You should try it sometime.
This apology came in a tweet that he tweeted out that included a link to an unlisted video. So already a very weird look when trying to apologize by making your video unlisted. So you need.
And I agree with Nick on this one. 100% I agree with Nick on this one. Kind of weird that he fucking did that. Jim's fucked. He crossed a boundary line that was fucking weird. If somebody's telling you about a situation that happened, you really, 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 really should not be fucking kissing that person.
Need a link to see it, and you can't search it up anywhere. Of course, I'll include the original link, I guess, in the description if you want to see it. But obviously what Jim did was embarrassing, and he should feel awkward about it. But let's give a brief overview of his apology.
About a year ago, as mentioned in your video,
I think this is where me and Nick are actually going to agree on the Jim shit. I think this is where me and Nick are actually going to agree.
July 4th, 2022, I made her feel extremely uncomfortable with my actions.
Jim starts this video by saying, apologizing for making Lex feel uncomfortable, and comes up with a interesting point, saying that he was sexually assaulted when he was younger, and once he heard about this, he was so hurt because he said, if I made Lex feel the way that I felt when I was sexually assaulted, then I'm truly sorry.
For that, I take full responsibility for that. In college, at a party, I was raped by a man. And that's something that will sit with me for the rest of my life. If I ever made Lex feel a tiny bit like how I felt that morning after, I'm never gonna. I won't ever fucking forgive myself.
It does come off, and a lot of people would agree that it was a little bit out of nowhere. I mean, obviously it's related to the incident, but when you're the person making someone else uncomfortable, I think it's more important for the apology to come first. A lot of people kind of noted this in the comments of the public one, saying that it took him a minute and 25 seconds to make this about himself. Jim's too much of a coward to keep this up himself.
But isn't that what you're doing right now? Kind of. Like you haven't talked about any of the important stuff yet. Maybe I'm just nitpicking on that. And I kind of agree that Jim is a creep and a fucking coward. I said the same thing about Don. I think he's a creep. Not a rapist, but a creep. You know what I mean?
Very sorry I got caught energy. There were also moments where Jim was, I guess, crying in the video, or like trying to seem like he's crying, but it was, I don't know, it's very odd.
I distinctly remember, like, so cringe. I distinctly remember saying, how hard is it to ask for consent? All you have to do is say, can I have a kiss? And then I said, can I have a kiss? And she said,
that is the creepiest fucking thing ever. Me and Nick have like this. Me and Nick had the same reaction when we heard that, and we're like, dude, not the fucking time.
yes, but it doesn't fucking matter.
Correct. I just thought that was kind of mainly what we needed to hear. Jim kind of gets into a lot of stuff that Layden said on his stream, which is kind of a big point in today's video. It's something that everything kind of revolves around when it comes to SuperMega's apology.
I'm glad that me and Nick can come to an understanding that the fact that Jim is a fucking weirdo. I'm not taking calls, Gaji. What is it? I at least me and Nick can come to an understanding that Jim is like really fucked. Like he did something really, really fucking weird.
The one thing besides Lex that stays consistent is that Layden had a piece in all of this. Jim explains that Layden said on his stream that Jim was aroused by Lex's story that she told him, her sexual assault story. He explains that Jim must have been aroused by this. And yeah, it was completely irrelevant to Lex's story. Jim brings this up to say that it was personally very triggering to him because it put him back in the shoes of his own assault. Now, I don't think this is something Layden knew about, so I don't think it's necessary to bring this up in a scenario where you're specifically apologizing about something you did to a woman who's not Layden. But when you're apologizing about something you did and you bring up constantly that you feel awful about it because it was something you used to experience, it does kind of feel like you're taking some of the blame off yourself because of trauma that you experienced. And if I was Lex, I think this would be a hard apology for me to accept. Jim goes,
yeah, I wouldn't. Bro, I literally told you about a situation that I'm in, and I feel uncomfortable by it, and I don't know how to feel about it, and I told you about it, and then you tried to proceed to kiss me. Yeah, Jim's a fucking weirdo. In my life, I wouldn't even think about doing that. If one of my friends came up to me and like one of my female friends came up to me and said, hey, like this weird thing happened, I don't know how to feel about it, it feels uncomfortable, you know, I feel like he did something to me, I'm not gonna ask, I'm not gonna make a joke about, oh, can we kiss, like, hey, how hard is it just to ask for a kiss and then kiss the person? Like, what? Like, the fuck? Like, at least me and Nick are on the same page on that.
Goes on to be pretty upset at a lot of the things Layden said, and you know, we will continue to talk about it, but I do think that, you know, the way Layden handled that specific,
I still think that they're both silly creeps. That doesn't change. I haven't changed my position at all.
Instance was out of hand. I do think that he should have handled that completely separate from this apology, especially because the apology's unlisted and everyone's watching it through these links. It just felt like he kind of freaked out and had to get it out there. The apology wasn't super well received. It was posted publicly. Most people are clowning on him, and the SuperMega audience was not being super forgiving about it. Most people think it was pretty lame, but around the same...
Juvie, you might be the most retarded person that has ever come across my live stream. I never said I don't believe her. I never said that she can't feel the way that she feels. I never said that she's lying about the situation. I personally believe that Don should not have his fucking life ruined. You might be the dumbest motherfucker I've ever had in my chat, and I've covered some fucked up dramas, but you're dumb as shit. Holy fuck.
Same time, a series of screenshots from the Instagram close friends story of Matt's current girlfriend were posted on the subreddit. She posted shit on
No,
her
I know that they're talking to the chat, but I'm reading them. I'm reading all this stuff, and I'm just like, damn, that person's dumb as shit. Gaji, I am not taking calls. I am doing this stream, and I have to get off, and I have to do some shit soon.
friends, someone was a snake, they put it on the subreddit. I don't think that Matt's current girlfriend should be a part of the story anymore. I'm not going to say her name, and I regret bringing her up initially, but I do think that these stories actually give us necessary context to how SuperMega was handling this controversy behind closed doors before it happened. And this was before Matt or Ryan responded. I think it was around the same time Jim posted his apology, but it left a lot of people with a weird taste in their mouth. She tweets on her private Twitter, "Dude, just know people are fucking lying about me like crazy, and the only reason I haven't said anything is because Matt and my friends told me not to, because Matt is going to take care of it and tell everyone the truth in his response, debunking everything."
Yes, he's going to handle it. That's totally fine. I don't see really an issue with that. Is it kind of weird that they're like, hey, like, don't really say anything. I want to put my statement out there first. That's totally fine to request that.
Yeah, he told her not to say anything, and she did say something, and it got out. I don't understand how they could be worse at handling controversies, because it's very obvious what Matt's attitude about this is in this whole thing. And we'll learn a lot more in his apology. I mean, of course, he has some reasons to feel upset about the way people are talking about his magnum opus. But, you know, another...
You are the only one that is calling it a magnum opus. Matt even says that he does not believe that he said that. And to be honest, again, he said, she said. He may have said it. He may have not have said it.
Tweet about the whole thing.
This whole drama is he said, she said, down to its fucking core.
This whole thing has been so fucking ridiculously unfair to everyone involved and blatantly false. I know I'm not supposed to be saying anything, but I hope everyone feels like idiots when they see the receipts. Okay, I guess none of this is on her Instagram close friends. I don't know why I said that initially, but she posted something that says, taking every ounce of self-control, but, period, I'll let him explain. And then posted a reaction image that says, whatever you hear about me, please believe it. I no longer have time to explain myself. You can also add some if you want. Overall, you can tell that she is not happy about it, and I can come to a conclusion about how Matt feels about it. But that is all
It's just Matt's girlfriend.
stuff that was behind closed doors. We don't have any proof for that. So that brings us to Monday, when we get a response from Matt and Ryan. We get two separate videos from Matt and Ryan. We have one that says my response Matt, one says my response Ryan. Matt's video is 48 minutes. Ryan's video is 9 minutes. In the time since, SuperMega has fallen from 1 million subscribers down to 954,000. And this video was posted the other day, which was surprisingly, as I clicked on it, pretty well received. A lot better received than you would expect. So I'm going to go through a pretty brief...
Why do you believe it would be better received than you expect? Matt did the right thing and fired Don. Did he fuck up? Yeah. And he owned the accountability of fucking up on certain aspects of it. Do I believe that he fucked up to the point that he's a rape apologist? No.
list of what Matt talked about in this 48-minute video. Again, watch the video for yourself, come to your own conclusions. I do want to see where the accountability takes place, and let's see what they said. Now, the first half of Matt's video is a lot about the Lex situation. Matt says they could have handled the situation in a much better way, but he insisted that him and Ryan never took any action to cover up a sexual assault.
I also want to state that we never took any action to cover up a sexual assault, and we never tried to cover Dawn from any consequences, and I'll go into that more as we progress through the video. Despite our delayed action on this, I do want to state unequivocally that Ryan and I never made any attempts to cover up a sexual assault or to aid Dawn.
Matt flew down to Florida after learning that Dawn and Lex broke up without knowing about the sexual assault that took place. Rav reached out to Matt about this, and then Lex finally told Matt on the phone, and Matt agrees that he should not have asked Lex what he should do in this scenario. It was very obvious what he should have done, and he decided to be passive about it, and yes, this is what caused a lot of the issues that Lex talked about.
There's nothing wrong with asking questions, especially when it's in your employee. Like, I don't see how that's a problem. He asks questions. He goes, I don't know what's going on. Like, yeah, you told me, but can you extrapolate more so I can understand? Like, I know it's rough to do that. This is I got to figure this shit out. Should have went to the cops, in my opinion. You should have went to the cops or somebody with professional ways of handling this, but there's something wrong with asking questions. That's how you get to the bottom of things.
In her video.
To be honest, I was terrified of misstepping in this situation due to its sensitive nature and how close it was to home. I was not sure how to navigate it. This was all new territory to me, and I asked her a really stupid question because of that. I asked Lex what she wanted me and Ryan to do about the situation, which was an absolutely dumbass thing to ask. I meant it from a place of, we want to help, and we will do whatever it is you want us to do to make the situation better. I now see that obviously came across as me putting the responsibility of the situation back on the victim, because we did not take it as seriously right from the jump as we should have. Instead, we asked questions and tried to do some detective work and get to the bottom of it, and maybe have Dawn talk to Lex to try to figure...
Which I criticize SuperMega for. You shouldn't be trying to get the person that has an issue with another person to talk to somebody, especially if they're accusing this person of a crime. Again, let the proper authorities handle that. You could ask questions, but maybe not fucking have them try and talk to each other. Like, we could all agree that that's not really the best fucking move.
Out, if this was a misunderstanding, which I now see was an absolutely, terrible, terrible move, suggesting that.
He says that during this conversation with Lex, he did selfishly bring up how this would affect the channel, which is something he definitely didn't do, which means a lot of the comments about the magnum opus thing turned out to be pretty true. In the last video,
Lex said he called it his magnum opus. Now, I understand I'm nitpicking on that. I understand that because I've watched the response. It's on the other live stream. He says, I don't remember ever saying the phrase magnum opus. That may have been a misinterpretation of what I was trying to say at the time.
I heard that Lex and Rav both separately said that SuperMega told Lex that since Don wasn't technically an employee and he was a contract worker, that they didn't have to fire him or do anything technically. Matt doesn't understand why he would say this. He basically chalked it up to miscommunication.
I don't see the logic in that or why I would have said that, because that's not something I would have said. I think it's more realistic that something was misinterpreted or miscommunicated there.
Honestly, I don't know how that miscommunication would happen or how Lex and Rav would say something that is that specific, but that really just is up to whose word you're going to trust. Matt says that him and Ryan had a conversation with Don, and Matt says that Don's story is much different than Lex's, and they should not have taken as much time as they did to look into the story, but they were afraid of misstepping in the situation with two people that they consider to be their friends.
We asked him what had happened that night, and he explained it from his perspective, which was...
I agree, Katzaflocken. All these guys blew up in their teens. So far, none of them successfully became an adult. That's the problem with a lot of creators like these.
very different from Lex's perspective. We felt a little confused on what had happened that night, as did Rav. Rav was also trying to figure out what had gone down. And at this point, I don't think any of us still were taking it as seriously as we should have been. And that is something that I sincerely regret, because we did not take it as seriously right from the jump as we should have.
In a lot of ways, I feel like it is very simple to just confront someone up front, especially if you're paying them and they're staying at your house. I think it's pretty fair to go, hey man, can you confirm whether or not you did this very simple thing? And if
But he can't ask Lex questions. But he can't ask Lex questions too. So you're saying he can ask Don questions, but he can't ask Lex questions. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
it didn't happen, we need to figure out why, and we need to get you out of here. Matt then shows texts from Rav telling Matt that he has more context to what happened between Lex and Don, and the situation.
My criticism that there's a game of phone tag being played. Now Rav's involved telling Matt other shit, and then there's also Lex saying shit, and then there's Don saying shit, and then there's Ryan saying shit. There's too many people in this fucking situation right now. This should have been handled directly. Lex should have immediately went to Matt and Ryan and said, hey, your employee did this to me. It's fucked. Here's the situation, which she did eventually. But there was all this other shit going on at the time where there's a game of telephone being played. The game of telephone has completely thrown this shit into a loop. That's the problem. There shouldn't be a game of telephone when it comes to allegations.
Doesn't seem as serious as it did before.
Here you can see some text messages between myself and Rav, where Rav is saying that he figured out a little more context on the situation at one point. Rav did wisen up quicker than Ryan and I did, though. I think that he took it more seriously than we did. We were still confused and not sure what to do, and we messed up.
Now, this was before Lex's call with Matt, but Matt makes it clear that Rav ended up wising up, and he took Lex's side in the situation before him and Ryan did. Matt
Hold on. Rav, in his tweet, said he was the one that told Matt on a balcony. Is that additional information, or did he tell him first?
reiterates that they did nothing at all to cover up a sexual assault, but he did say that Don's sexual assault is the reason that he left SuperMega and why they didn't answer questions from fans asking about where he had gone for like a year.
I do want to state unequivocally that Ryan and I never made any attempts to cover up a sexual assault or to aid Don. People have been theorizing and asking us for over a year, where did Don go? Why is Don no longer the channel artist? This is the reason. In response to what Lex told us, we removed Don as our channel artist and we cut contact with him 100%. Personal business, we have not had any communications. And we did not cover this up from other people.
It's hard for me to completely understand where they're coming from when they say they weren't trying to cover up a sexual assault, especially because two close friends of theirs, Justin and Kelly, both removed SuperMega from their Twitter bios. And according to Lex, it was after they found out about Don's situation. And of course...
But weren't they asked to keep it on the DL at the time? Didn't Lex turn around and say, like, there's this thing that happened and I just want it to go away. Fuck this. Like, leave it. Get this out. Get this out of here. Like, that's not covering it up. That's falling in line with what the victim is asking. I don't believe Lex ever said, I need you to make like a public fucking statement here, or that you guys need to like blow this up to more people. It's not something that the rest of the community needed to know. It's a situation. Why are they the ones to why is SuperMega on the onus? It was a contractor. That contractor, they fired the contractor, got rid of him. Done. It's over. It's out of SuperMega's hands. Why is the onus being put back on them? I don't understand that part. It's not their story to tell. It's not their story to tell. So why the fuck are people expecting Matt and Ryan to say something about it? It's not their story to tell. So what the fuck? What is Nick and everyone expecting them to do? It's not their story to tell. If a crime did in fact occur on company property, that would throw the company itself in a line of responsibility. It was at Matt's house.
By Don's situation, I mean him.
I love the irony of you talking about the situation and complaining about how many people were talking about it. No, I said how many people were involved in it. You fucking idiot. Maybe I should have worded it better so that your little fucking retard brain can understand it.
Sexually assaulting Lex. I struggle to understand how someone as close to them like Justin wouldn't know about someone in the SuperMega offices being a sexual assaulter, especially because Justin knew Don. In the other case, if you knew about SuperMega's controversy with another former employee of them by the name of Jackson, Lex says in her video that she knew all about the Jackson situation. She was with Matt when it happened, and it seems like their whole office was aware of that. It feels like not bringing up to the rest of your office that there is someone working amongst you who has sexually assaulted another person working amongst you, especially if all these people are friends with each other, then I just can't understand how they weren't trying to hide this from the people around them. But Matt's answer to that would
No, I'm just a mean person, dipshit.
be that they didn't tell other people or the public about this because Lex wanted the situation to be private and they didn't want to speak for her.
And she expressed that she did not want this to be a thing that was public. We felt like it was not our place to address someone else's sexual assault and give that as the reasoning for removing contact with Don. We figured that as long as he was gone and we weren't working with him, you know, that was our response.
And as much as I understand trying to help Lex's privacy, Don is someone that you paid that stays in your office who knows your employees. This is also a work matter, that you have someone who has sexually assaulted one of your friends amongst you guys. And I still do not understand how all of that stayed between 3 people when the rest of this shit is leaking everywhere. It just doesn't really add up to me how something like this happens to a close friend of yours and that is your immediate response. Even if you ended up doing the right thing and you took the time, shouldn't we be worried about the fact that you didn't hear that a friend of yours sexually assaulted another friend of yours and immediately addressed it and kicked him out? I just don't really understand, even if Lex wanted it private, how it would be that are you guys just that busy that shit happens and it's like, oh, you know, he's gonna be here this time, I messed up.
What?
To a close friend of yours and that is your immediate response. Even if you ended up doing the right thing and you took the time, shouldn't we be worried about the fact that you didn't hear that a friend of yours sexually assaulted another friend of yours and immediately addressed it and kicked him out?
Did they not address it? Did they not go, man, okay, we know about this. We got to talk to Don. We got to figure out what the fuck's going on with Don. Okay. Lex is telling this story. Don, you're fired. What?
Don't really understand.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Even if Lex wanted it private, how it would be that are you guys just that busy that shit happens and it's like, oh, you know, he's gonna be here this time, I messed up the timing of everything and oops, someone had to run into the guy that sexually assaulted them because I had too much going on. If you have too much going on and you can't take care of that, you need to hire someone who can, or else you don't deserve your business. You don't know how to handle it. This isn't a question of whether or not they didn't know her intentions or whether or not everything was as serious as it was. This is a personal thing that is happening to friends of yours. This isn't like something on paper where you have to like figure out how to find like physical proof that something happened. I think I can never.
Dude, even if a friend of mine is in a situation like that, I'm going to fucking ask questions. Not because I don't respect them or respect their story. I need to know. If 2 of my friends are having a situation like this, the first human response is to ask questions, not to do what the internet thinks you should do. What are you fucking talking about?
Dawn staying with me, especially after hearing what Lex had told me. And Lex had not arrived in town yet. At the time, I also had 2 or 3 people staying with me on top of Dawn, and I felt really overwhelmed. I had a lot going on in my personal life at the time that was stressing me out, and I felt overwhelmed.
This is going to be interesting for later in the story, how Matt immediately figures out a situation to home one of his friends, Don, after knowing what he did to Lex. But then down the line, when Lex and Rav literally don't have a home to go to, and the one place where they had all of their stuff was literally stolen from them, now we have all these comments from people online saying that Lex and Rav were just taking SuperMega for granted, and they should have been happy that they could have stayed there those few days that they did. We'll get to that.
How is that a controversial thing to say? Matt should have kicked Don out, and he did. Once he remembered that Lex was showing up, he's like, oh, fuck, right, I need you to get the fuck out of my house. So how is that bad? That's my curiosity. How is that bad? How is it bad that people were like, they were taking, they were just freeloading in the house?
It's a complete mess, but I think a lot of these stories about the homelessness part of Lex's story have been like harshly discounted in this video and shows a lot of instances in where Matt kind of completely goes over some of the things that Lex shows in her video, which I will get to in a second. But let's continue. Matt shows screenshots showing that he was kicking Don from the office after realizing that he told Lex that she could stay there. Matt says he felt like he was babysitting Don in a text that he shows, and that's why he sent him to the office where Lex ended up being. Again, Matt says that he recognizes where he failed and that he wants to take full accountability for it. Matt claims that the communication with Lex and Rav staying at the office was poor and that all 4 of them could have been more mature about the situation, but Ryan and Matt felt that the tensions were too high, so they didn't feel like having that conversation at the time.
All around, it was a pretty weird vibe, and I think all 4 of us could have acted more mature during that period, but we failed to communicate, and that is largely on myself and Ryan.
And this is another instance where I think a lot of people start to go, well, you know, they're just human, they're busy, they can't really figure out what's going on. But it still doesn't address the multiple days of communication that Lex didn't have with the guys when she needed to get into the place. And it also doesn't address the fact that these are real friends of yours who are in your city and like desperately need help. I don't know if we remember the story in Lex's video, because suddenly people are saying that she's tried to claim that SuperMega made her homeless or whatever. But no, Lex trusted a friend of hers, a close friend of hers that she trusted to take her situation.
They also kept saying, hey, like, we're going to help you. We're going to give you money. We're going to give you money to move the fuck out. We're going to move you out. We're going to give you money. We're letting you live here. Like, we'll help you. And they just kept not doing it. How is that not taking advantage of that? How is that Matt and Ryan being dicks? They were also friends with Don. Did Don do something fucked? Absolutely. But expecting Matt and Ryan to remember when somebody's showing up at the house when they're doing 50 other things and own a business? No. Sorry. Shit happens. Life isn't perfect.
In a way that was serious and took action, like a person who actually runs a business with a bunch of their fucking friends. But if you can't run a business with a bunch of people who are friends of yours, like we have seen time and time again, you hire these people in your group, you make them a part of your channel, and then suddenly one by one people are leaving and they all seem to just have bad things to say about it. Later in this video, I am going to show texts that Matt showed that do help his side, that do make it look like he was being more responsive, and I think those texts give us good context, but it continually pushes this narrative that because Layden and Lex were nice to Matt and Ryan during this time where apparently they were miserable, that means that they were somehow lying about that thing. And I don't know if a lot of you are the same way.
That's not what he was trying to get across. It shows the fact that they assumed that everything was cool, that they removed Dawn, that they let them live in the house. How's that perceived? What are you talking about?
But I feel like when someone has the resources like SuperMega has to take care of people close to them, there's obviously a dynamic here in which Rav and Lex feel like they need to kiss up to Matt and Ryan. She even said it in her video that that's why she was being so nice, because she was desperate for a place and she thought she had a friend who could provide it to her, but she was more...
Why the fuck was she living there if she was uncomfortable with it? Because they were friends? Dude, if my friend asked me to house them for a few weeks to a month or two just to get on their feet and to like find a new place to live, I would let them do that. I'm not a monster. If they go over what they told me to find a new place to live and actually do something, and they overstayed that welcome, I'd be like, get the fuck out of my house after a while. Or I'd be nice about it and keep saying, hey, did you find a place yet? Hey, did you find a place yet? Hey, did you find a place yet? Doesn't that sound familiar? Doesn't that sound like what Matt and Ryan did and Jim? That they were like, hey, like, we're looking for apartments for you guys. Like, we're going to offer you some money to find a place because you're struggling to find an apartment. You're still living here. Can you get the fuck out?
More and more feeling like she was overstepping and more feeling like they wanted her out of the house. And just because they're nice over text doesn't mean that disproves what they said later, which is that it felt like they were one step away from being fully kicked out and having to move all the way back to where they went.
Because they fucking overstayed their welcome. That's all people are shitting on them for. Is that they overstayed their welcome. And Matt and Ryan isn't obligated to give them a home for multiple weeks and multiple months when they are supposed to find another place. Sorry. If you call me a bad friend because I think like that, you never had a situation like that one before.
Because a lot of unfortunate shit happened. And Matt and Ryan can even say themselves that they're human, they make mistakes, these things are all miscommunication. But then when it comes to people actually living in their house and needing shelter, who they consider to be close friends, people are kind of treating it like this black and white situation where you can't let someone live in your space, even though everyone says it's completely trashed and it smells disgusting. And you guys are like going into work and not talking to them somehow. But at the same time, you're upset with them saying it. Just, I understand that they take accountability for a lot of that, and I do appreciate that. But I think this more and more goes to show that Matt and Ryan aren't really fit to be in this kind of position where they're housing multiple friends at Matt's house and at this office, and they somehow still have Don here and he's mixing in with everybody else. People keep saying that this situation has been pushed completely on Matt and Ryan and that it's not even about the original thing anymore. We should be focused on Don. But people keep forgetting that they are agreeing that they did all this horrible shit, and just because they agreed that they did it because there was proof that they did it, that doesn't mean that suddenly everyone was lying about everything. Matt goes on.
Oh my God, nobody is saying that. Everyone's saying it was unnecessary to add the additional information. Nick, my entire point that I have been trying to make, and a lot of people have been trying to make, is that it was unnecessary to continuously drag SuperMega into this to the level it was. Could you criticize them for not handling it fast enough? Absolutely. You could do that all day. I wouldn't really care. I wouldn't really care. But, the the additional shit about the ex-girlfriend, the shit about Leighton, the fact that they kept housing her, and at some point she said, I'm going to try and find a place to live, and then bought a car instead and kept going on trips, even though she said it was for her mental health and for her friend's health. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't not be looking for a fucking place to live while you're living there rent-free. I don't think these people have lived real lives. All of these people. SuperMega, Nick, fucking Lex, all these people. They've never lived a real life. They've lived this influencer, Twitter artist, fucking lifestyle where they've never had a situation like this before, and they don't know how to handle it. None of them do.
To say that in Lex's video, she explains that Matt and Ryan gave her and Rav a cold shoulder, and it sort of felt like they were being constantly nudged to get out of there, with Jim constantly texting them about these vacations that they were taking, when Lex had to go back home to her mom because her dog was sick, and suddenly it's like, oh, you and Rav are taking another vacation, even though you're driving across the country in your Jeep with everything you own just to come to California and have it stolen from you. I don't understand how this isn't a severe enough situation where you need to...
How is that their fault? How is them getting robbed their fault? How is it SuperMega's fault? It isn't. It's a dick move for me to say that, but it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's literally not their fault.
Sit down with these people who are close to you and give them a talk about how you can support them in that time. But if you're going to support all these other people staying at your house for all these different reasons, don't you think being completely homeless and having all your personal belongings stolen from you is a big enough reason to allow people to stay until they get the help they need? Because if not, then these people aren't as close to you as you think they are, and you need to not open yourselves up to being an option for people to come and stay at your place when serious shit happens, and then suddenly you don't want to support them anymore. Matt shows text.
Dude, you do realize that even if you're friends with somebody and they overstay their fucking welcome, that you can kick them out of your fucking house. Holy shit. Even if you're best fucking friends, at some point, if this person says, I am here because I need to find a place to live, can I stay at your house for a bit? And they overstay their fucking welcome and not looking for a place to live? It's not wrong to be like, oh, have you found a place yet? 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 There's nothing wrong with that. This is why people are turning on this portion of Lex's video. It's not the Dawn shit. It's this shit. This stupid shit about her living in the house. You are hyper-fixating on the dumbest part of these of the SuperMega Dawn allegations. The important thing is what happened to Lex and Dawn, right? Why in the fuck are you focusing on them overstaying their welcome? And that they made themselves homeless. Sorry, they did. They didn't think, I could go home and then look for apartments there because I'm not welcome here anymore. I could just go home. Go home. You even said that you can go home to Nashville. Critical thinking skills were not used by Lex and her friends that were staying at that house. None of them had a fucking brain between the lot of them on maybe we should go home and figure it out from there, because it seems like they don't want us here anymore. Why in the fuck would you drag it out further?
Responding to this tension where he said that the only reason they were ignoring Lex and Rav is because they spaced out and they were wrapped up in their own worlds. Jim was hired to communicate for them, so that's why Jim talks to Lex and Rav about leaving the office, and Matt and Ryan just sat in the group chat and let Jim talk for them. They said that because they were staying at the office when all of this happened, this became a work issue and not a personal issue with them. So because personal friends of them became homeless, but the building that you let them stay at was an office and not a...
Stop calling them fucking homeless. Stop it. Lex had a home to go back to. Whether or not that home life is good or not is irrelevant to me. It's a home. It's a place you can live. It's a place you have Wi-Fi to look at fucking like apartment listings in LA. You're not homeless. Homeless means you have nowhere to go. Your family doesn't want you. You don't have a home to live in. Does that make me a fucking jaded asshole for saying that? Probably. But you're not homeless.
house, that means that you need to deal with this in a work manner and kick them out. I don't think that makes sense, especially because you're letting them stay between your house and the office, and because you do business with all your friends. If you do business with your friends and they're all a part of your channel and they're a part of the culture and the work culture you build, you don't even have an HR department because everyone's friends, then that means that this isn't a work issue anymore. It is a personal issue because your personal lives are a part of this office. If your office is a place that is holding friends of yours and people are living out of that space, then yeah, it's personal. They're your friends. We don't deal with it like a work matter just because it happened in a fucking building that was where you work. Matt claims that Jim was better at communicating these things than they were, so they put Jim in a group chat with them to settle it. But obviously, from Lex's point of view, it's pretty intimidating to have the two guys just sitting in a group chat who decide whether or not you're going to live there without them even saying anything, and having Jim call you needing to handle other personal things in your life as like vacations. The more and more I hear these parts of the story, the more and more...
How is that a bad thing? Dude, you've been going on trips. Yeah, you can excuse your dog dying. I could excuse that. I could. If I was in that position, I could be like, yeah, your dog's dying. Go handle that. Don't worry about anything else. Everything else, even if Rav was going through a tough time, you could still look at apartments. Sorry, I'm not a fucking dick for saying that. You could still do it.
Or it feels like they are missing a lot of the details that does make this more nuanced, like Matt said.
Overall, I would like for people to understand that the situation is not entirely black and white. There's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of personal feelings involved on all sides.
And I think we need to look at that from the other side too. Just because the guy who was holding those people at his house is suddenly saying that Jim was hired to be the guy that needs to kick out their friends when they stay too long. No, I don't like that excuse. I don't feel like that's a very good excuse, but we'll keep going. Matt says that Lex and Rav voluntarily left the office and showed a text from them saying that they were leaving and apologizing for their long stay. Now, again, I don't really think that this is good proof that there isn't any tension, because obviously with Lex showing just how much he was going through at the time, the fact that they might be the only people who can actually take care of them until they can find a place to settle down.
Why is that on the responsibility of fucking Matt and Ryan when they let them live there the whole time? Why is that their responsibility? Why?
Of course, they're going to be nice about it. That's a normal trauma response to have to something like this that happened to her. To have this sexual assault happen and go about it the way it did, that affects someone. And I think the fact that they didn't only see that they messed up there, but feel like they didn't mess up from, removing Lex and Rav from their home, I find that hard to believe. Lex
did not explain why. Just gave his opinion on it. Didn't have an explanation as to why. Just fucking said it. Bro. Oh, God, Nick.
repeatedly says in the video that the trauma response she had through this whole experience is what scared her from putting her foot down and asking for their help in the first place, because she genuinely didn't feel like Ryan and Matt were trying to help her out.
You know how there's fight, flight, or fawn? I think I did fawn. I'm looking this up. I don't want to fuck this up. Fawn. People pleaser. Lack of identity. No boundaries. Overwhelmed. Codependent. Yep. So I was doing that over time. That whole stay at Matt's was a lot.
Even Matt says in this video that it's not about the intention. It's about the way that Lex feels about the whole thing. And even after confronting him about it, it obviously did not make her feel welcomed.
I wasn't sure how to talk about this type of situation, and I believe that some of the things that I said to Lex on this call came across very differently from what I intended. But I do know that intent does not change how it was interpreted and how Lex felt about it.
Matt can show as many texts as he wants between him and Lex showing that they were friendly and that they're really close friends, but all I see is that someone you were really close friends with tried to make things right with you and give you the benefit of the doubt, but she walked away feeling like she couldn't even tell her story in a comfortable way to you guys. Matt says that him and Rav talked months later about it, and they agreed that everyone was in a bad place last summer and that they made up about it.
After they left, things did seem tense for a little bit, but they seemed to subside. I rekindled things with Rav several months later. We spoke about the last summer and how we were all in bad places and it was awkward. Rav and I, apologized to each other and made up. We did this at my house as well as a little discussion at Creator Clash 2023, which again is why I found myself very confused when Rav said what he did on Twitter recently.
Matt says because of the text he had between Lex, he thought everything was okay and that him and Lex were fine, but insinuates that, and this is where the video changes a lot, Matt insinuates that things seemed to change between him and Lex once Matt and Ryan fired Layden as their merch designer.
And since last summer, I assumed that my relationship with Lex was much better. For example, here's several texts I received from Lex between November of last year and February of this year. I thought that after I apologized to her last July, things had smoothed out, and I think you can see why I would think that, but that communication ceased around the time that we fired Layden, who was a close friend of hers.
A big part about this video that Matt and Ryan were very upset about is the comments that Layden made about Daniel and his suicide and the way that Matt and Ryan handle it.
And if you've dealt with suicide, you know that grief is different for each person, and you know that there
To be honest, they should have been mad at you too, motherfucker.
are a lot of complex and confusing emotions that come with the grief regarding suicide. Some of those include anger, and if I ever expressed that to Lex, which again, I firmly believe that I did not, if that's the case, then I find it wildly inappropriate that Lex would use something I said in a very vulnerable state to
I cannot wait to see how Nick fucking tackles this one.
weaponize and to make me look worse.
Of course, I see how Matt and Ryan would respond to this in a negative way if it's not true, but in the same way, Matt brings up these details about his personal relationship that were brought up in this situation, and it's another thing that he was pretty upset about in terms of people dragging in other people into his life that have nothing to do with this.
And
Yeah, Nick. Yeah. You did it too.
I don't think it was appropriate or necessary to drag both my current girlfriend and my ex-girlfriends into the line of fire. They are both being harassed viciously, and their personal lives are being used as weapons to make me look worse, and I think that's completely unacceptable.
And although I do think that there were a lot of instances that were unnecessary to bring up about you, in the same way, your life is so connected. I mean, you say it yourself that SuperMega is your magnum opus. It is a part of you. Your personal life is a part of this channel. And when your audience feels like you led them on to be a different person than you actually are, that is a part of your job, as sad as it is. Matt largely includes a lot of his personal life in his content, and even if he keeps one thing private, I feel like when a former friend of yours comes forward about sexual assault that happened under your home, behind closed doors, you shouldn't be saying that Matt's going to be debunking everything and that he's going to prove everyone wrong. We're all going to feel like fucking idiots. I think that's pretty necessary context that your own girlfriend is calling all the people who believe in this girl's story like dumb as shit because you're here to like disprove it all. And yes, a lot of the situation has...
Nobody said he was going to disprove the Lex story. He wanted to disprove all of the additional shit that was made up about him in context to getting kicked out, being homeless, not handling the Don situation, all of that shit. What are you talking about? Nobody is talking about disproving the Lex story. Holy shit! Is Nick retarded?
Has a lot of nuance, has conversations between people that, from our point of view, we're never going to hear. I'm not surprised that they came forward and they don't feel the same way Lex did. Of course they don't feel the same way Lex did about the whole situation, or they would have done something right. But that's our main issue, is that any...
You better be in conversation. You better be in context of how they handled the situation, not if they believe Lex or not. Make sure you clarify that, Nick.
This happened in the first place. Of course, this whole thing is pretty messy, but I think we should kind of move past all of the relationship stuff. Matt does talk about a lot of the romantic things that happen.
You were the one that brought it up. Remove it from your video then. Remove it from the first video then.
Happened between him and Morgpie, who was the person who had a stream about her very short like hookup thing with Matt, and I think that's another thing that he covers in the video that I also think we should just maybe not focus on as much as the main story.
You're the one that brought it up in your fucking video, asshole! And Lex! You dogpiled on it! You just proved yourself to be a part of the dog pile. I just think I think Nick's a fucking idiot.
But the reason it matters is because when Matt concluded this part of the video, when he said that Morgpie and him just had some very big misunderstandings on where they were in terms of the sexual part of their very short relationship, the important thing is that Matt explains that this happened, and the stream by Morgpie happened after she became friends with Layden, basically insinuating that Layden being fired was a turning point in Lex and Morgpie coming forward with both of their stories. And this is kind of the turning point where a lot of people's
It's literally ridiculous. You could still isolate those. And to be honest, there is, in my opinion, some shit going on that you might not know about, Nick. There might be a gay op happening, and you're going to look really stupid if the gay op gets proven.
perceptions shifted of SuperMega from initially when Lex put out her video till when Matt put out his response.
Following when I had that text conversation with Morgan in June where we smoothed things over, Morgan began hanging out with our ex-employee Layton more, and I have not heard from her since that conversation until I saw her stream.
And this revolves around their ex-merch designer Layton, who had a pretty long stream the other day and made a lot of claims and accusations against SuperMega that weren't really initially talked about in Lex's video. This part of the video largely refutes a lot of what Layton was saying, and I think it resulted in people shifting a lot more of the blame to the victims of this situation rather than the people who caused it in the first place. Again, I don't have a connection to Layton. I have friends who are friends with him, but I don't really know. It claims a lot.
Your friend, Ethan, the boyfriend of Lex, is friends with Layton. The person who is dating the person who started the allegations. This is like dealing with Def Noodles when he was like at his worst. You know what I mean? Like the back in the cat ears days. This is like dealing with Def Noodles back in the cat ear days.
About a person if you think that they're talking about their experience with you just because like one of your former employees who got fired like months ago is like orchestrating all of them to come after you. And I do think that Matt says some things about Layton in here that don't make him look great about the situation. I don't think he should have said anything in the first place, and I do regret talking about it because it has become this conversation over.
You should also regret talking about the morgue pie stuff. And also calling him a rape apologist.
For whether or not Layton was like the mastermind behind this thing, and insinuating that both of the women in this story are coming forward only because they're friends of this guy who hates them. Layton can talk.
You can make connecting lines to a disgruntled employee that has been trying to make shit up about him the entire time. He can make those connections.
Shit and lie about you guys as much as he wants, but I think it's kind of insane to think that that was the turning point for Lex to speak out about her getting sexually assaulted in your house, especially because she's being harassed endlessly and she's not even a YouTuber and had to put a video out on a channel that didn't even have anybody there to watch in the first place. And I do want to clarify here that when I say the turning point for Lex to tell her story, I very well think that Layton could have convinced Lex and given her the courage to step up and say something, but I definitely don't think that everything was good between Lex and SuperMega, and then once she became friends with Layton, all of a sudden she has 2.5 hours.
So you're telling me that now you believe that Layton talked to Lex, somebody who has a disgruntled past with SuperMega, to talk to Lex, who has, by the way, Layton made up lies, and Lex even asked Layton to take down the stream. This individual has a negative bias towards SuperMega. Nick, can you not potentially see maybe, just maybe, in a hypothetical, that Leighton may have gassed her up on the things that weren't necessary instead of focusing on the allegations? The rest of it became about SuperMega. Instead of just, Matt and Ryan could have handled it better. Come on, Nick. I know you're not that I know I've been making fun of you, but I don't think you're that fucking stupid.
Worth of stories about how they made her uncomfortable and how they treated her. I mean, I don't think he can support Lex's story and really make this claim at the same time, because in order for this to be true, it would have to mean that Lex made up or exaggerated the way she felt about SuperMega and their way of handling the situation. According to them, she was very valid, and most of the...
Yes, in regard to the Dawn stuff. But what about the rest of the shit? The homelessness, the treating them like shit after the Dawn stuff? What? Come on, Nick. You can't be this stupid.
Points that she made. Anyways, I'm going to talk about what Matt brings up about Leighton, and talk about what I think about it and where some of these missteps may have happened. Because while I think that the YouTube comments are pretty gross on all the videos, I mean, literally, like, one of the top comments on the video is like, can we please just talk about the fact that they're all attacking Matt and Ryan so hard, no one's attacking Dawn for sexually assaulting someone? That usually happens when the people who are watching over all of this have the biggest platform. They're the only ones that are tying this whole thing together. None of this would have really happened if she was not put in that position. So Matt says that since Leighton was fired in March, he has been on a vindictive campaign to deplatform them and ruin their image. Matt shows text from Leighton showing that he was sorry about mistakes that he was making in the company and that he was ready to leave SuperMega because he felt like he couldn't handle the job. Matt and Ryan ended up letting Leighton go, but originally he was even thinking about leaving himself. Matt heard from sources that Leighton said that if things went south with him and SuperMega, he could easily get them canceled, but when they brought this up to Leighton, he swore he didn't say any of that. Matt said that Leighton was all in on all the jokes they were making about him. He even encouraged them up until the point he was fired. Matt shows a lot of text from Leighton showing that he was fully comfortable with the jokes and that he didn't blame Matt and Ryan for any of it. And although I do believe that there is a very obvious dynamic, if you have your boss above you, telling these jokes, even if they do ask you if you're okay with it, it's obvious that Leighton was in a weird position with SuperMega where he
Dude, he showed his cock and balls. You can't get more comfortable at a fucking job if you can pull out your genitalia and slap it on the table and show your bosses. There's no dynamic. The dude showed his cock and balls. What are you talking about?
felt like he was on like the brim of being fired. So I do think in that case there's a lot of ways where he could be sending them positive texts to make sure that they don't get rid of him, but at the same time that doesn't really fall on SuperMega as much as it falls on Leighton for properly communicating that he wasn't uncomfortable with these pretty disgusting jokes everyone was making. At the same time, I think that there were some major cues that were missed by Leighton, and when him and SuperMega split, there was definitely a lot of tension there that turned into something that it really shouldn't have. I think everyone is of course valid to be able to tell their story about the situation, but I think because he was someone who was close to Lex, he should have taken that time to really raise her story up, and instead he made a lot of claims that Matt was able to refute in this video, and that
you also made a lot of claims and bullshit about Matt. Where's your accountability? I know you have a little section in here. Where is this? Where is this? Where is the criticism part? Criticism I've been receiving really towards the end of this video.
In turn made Lex look not so great anymore to a lot of people. Lex said herself publicly that she was upset with Leighton for a lot of the remarks he made, and I'm going to assume at this point that Leighton isn't going to really speak more on SuperMega because...
Good. The stupid fucking lol calc should keep his goddamn mouth shut.
It doesn't really seem like his head was in the right place when he started talking about it, and it kind of frustrates me that it took so much away from Lex's story, and now it seems like the subreddit and comments are crawling with people who think that just because someone who was a previous friend of SuperMega's obviously is going to be able to connect with another person who had bad experiences, suddenly it means that the guy who had a bad experience with you is like brainwashing everyone else in this vindictive...
There is a potentiality for that, Nick. If somebody has a vendetta against someone and they have an outlet to somebody who has a legitimate gripe, or at least what they consider to be a legitimate gripe, do you think that that person might not latch onto that? Why would they make a whole stream about everything else other than the Lex stuff if they potentially didn't have something to do with all the other bullshit everyone's mad about? Come on, Nick. Come on. Use your brain, please. I'm begging you. Open up your mind just a little bit. You open your mind, become nuanced, understand this
campaign that's like out to get you, and I don't understand why someone as big as Mordecai and someone like Lex would ever want to come forward about something that they didn't truly feel was necessary to come forward with. Not everything is as simple as telling someone that everything's okay, and there was obviously something going on in the office that raised a lot of tensions and caused something like this to get as big as it did. Matt shows text on a random Discord server where Leighton and other members were attempting to find ways to cancel SuperMega, and Matt basically claims that all of this happened because Leighton and these Discord users were trying to figure out a way to ruin his career. He has screenshots, I don't even know from what, they're just like random Discord screenshots, but he is claiming that there has been a group of people that Leighton has worked with to try and organize the best time to speak up up about their feelings on the channel or whatever.
I later received anonymous screenshots that were leaked from a Discord server that's just dedicated to hating on SuperMega, the members of which created and spread horrible lies about my ex-girlfriend on Tumblr. They have harassed me for years. Some of them also write underage sexual assault fanfiction. These screenshots detail the exact situation Leighton was in with his employer. That's how I knew that they were real, because I knew about this agreement.
And Matt also scrolls through these screenshots in a thread on his Gmail that says Leighton evidence thread, which at least makes it clear.
Wait a minute. Didn't Matt blur out everything underneath it? Why did Nick unblur everything else?
To me that they kind of foresaw Leighton coming forward about this stuff and had a lot of this prepared, had a lot of these screenshots and stories.
Wait, Rose Malay made a video? It's probably shit.
Prepared to make sure that Leighton can't deface them. And while I don't have evidence on the other side for this, I just want to at least put the information out there so you guys can see it. I think Matt covers a lot more in his response video. I think it's smart to watch that to really make sure you see the whole thing. But yeah, Matt even brings up tweets from Ethan claiming that SuperMega would say slurs behind closed doors and claimed that Ethan has really only been with them a few times and that Lex is a person of color and why would they use slurs around her.
Shortly after, one of Leighton's best friends, who is Lex's boyfriend, tried to instigate drama on Twitter by lying and saying that he has heard us say the N-word multiple times. In reality, we've only met this individual a handful of times, and it's mostly been at social events and always accompanied by Lex. So to think that we would just casually be dropping the N-word with a hard R in front of not only someone who's a stranger, but also a woman of color, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But I don't really see why in a story that you otherwise think is true, Lex would suddenly lie about these things that are very serious. Again, I would watch the video for yourselves and see where you fall in it.
Holy shit, Nick. There's no way you're this stupid, dude. I refuse to believe that you're this fucking stupid. He's not saying Lex lied. There is no fucking way you're this stupid, Nick. Like, I want to believe that you're not this fucking stupid. I can't believe that you're this fucking stupid. I really can't.
But a lot of this stuff just ends up being personal shit that we can't really prove, and it's not going to hold as much weight because of that. But I'll continue. Matt says that Leighton's campaign trying to ruin their career became downright creepy and obsessive. He clarifies that he is not saying that Leighton convinced Lex to come forward. He is not saying that this is some methodical move by Leighton, but he does say multiple times that all of this just happened after they fired Leighton, and that he's very sure that
firing Leighton leads to the morgue pie stuff, potentially, because they're all seeing Lex come out with a story talking about bad shit about SuperMega that isn't the Dawn stuff. Again, remember, we are removing the Dawn stuff and we're separating it to the SuperMega stuff. They see SuperMega getting ripped apart because it is attached to the SA story. They focus in on that, feel comfortable to start making shit up and dredging shit up for no reason. How is that not considered a potential dogpile in coordination? I can see why Matt thinks that.
this is the reason why she came forward.
Leighton would frequently slander myself and Ryan to fans on his Discord server. He even went as far as to join a fan's 18-year-old birthday drunken Twitter space to shit talk us. This stuff was creeping us out. He was obsessed with us and wouldn't leave us alone. And at this point, we were fully expecting more of Leighton's close friends to eventually speak out about us for one reason or another. And now a lot of them have.
I did want to include a little more of this part because I feel like I missed a lot of the claims Matt was making and a lot of the things he was refuting, but basically he has a couple parts in this video where he talks about things that Ethan said that he outright denies, along with some things that Leighton did to spite SuperMega that really kind of put Matt and Ryan on edge in the first place and gave us a little bit of an explanation of how someone like Leighton would leave SuperMega with such a bad taste in his mouth, which doesn't excuse how it was affected or how it was heard by other people, but I don't know if this is a strong point for Leighton's case. I don't know, there is a lot of
Leighton and Ethan look like assholes, Nick. Just say it.
claims that were being thrown that way, so I can see how he would see that Leighton was, throwing a bunch of stuff at them and getting in the way of Lex's story. But I think there was a better way of them to tackle this, to, claim that their communication with Leighton was way different than he claimed, while at the same time pushing up Lex's story, because it's like, they keep saying most of the stuff Lex said was true, but then they go around and keep saying that this vindictive campaign only began once we fired Leighton. But if these things happened to Lex anyways, and you think you should have done better, then I do feel like that's the bottom line. But then again, you do have the right to turn around and refute that, and I do think Matt went as far as he could to refute a lot of the things Leighton said.
Leighton wasted no time to go to Twitter to make her story about himself and to jump on the opportunity to air out his personal grievances with us. People on Twitter even noted noticed this and they were quick to call it out. He finally had the freedom to exaggerate, misrepresent, and flat out lie about myself, Ryan, our friends, our partners, and our company. He did a 3-hour stream, so I'm not going to go into every point, obviously. It seems that he tried to throw anything and everything he possibly could think of at the wall to see what would stick. I think that's pretty obvious and telling of his true motive here.
Again, even though I am friends with Ethan and Lex, I don't know really anything about what happened with Layden here, but I don't really touch on this as much as I want to in the video, so I'll say it now. I think Layden made a very big mistake making the stream he did and talking about...
Good! Thank God. Okay, me and Nick can agree on something. Same thing as the gym shit. Layden's an idiot.
His experience at the time that he did. I personally don't trust his word. I wouldn't be surprised if Lex felt the same way. And although that doesn't change any of my feelings on her personal story, I do think it was a necessary thing for Matt to...
You should really look into the additional shit in Lex's story. You can believe the Dawn stuff. I'm not going to argue with you. But you can definitely look into the additional shit.
Bring up just because of how many different accusations Layden was talking about. I do think because of how many different things Layden said without much care during his stream, Lex's story was suddenly overshadowed by a lot of claims Layden was making that Matt was very easily able to dismantle, and I think that may have been the biggest mistake in this whole situation. I know that Lex does not feel good about how it went from her perspective. Even though she is a friend of Layden's, I know that she was surprised and pretty upset at the way that he handled the situation. Again, there is that power imbalance there, but there's no way of...
Yo, thanks for the subscription, Cots of Flockin'. You're based as fuck. I see you in everyone's chats, bro.
Us knowing if that was a real tension on the relationship. Matt claims that Layden tried to throw everything he possibly could at the wall after Lex's video. He shows texts that show Layden complaining himself in group chats about Rav and Lex staying at the Super Megaplex for too long. One of the bigger things was that Matt outright completely denies that they have ever said the N-word, I guess at least in the past few years since Super Mega began, and they said that Layden's claims about his relationship were largely overstated, and he does admit to making a mistake and being unfaithful in his last relationship and cheating on his ex, but not to the extent that Layden shared. He said that a lot of what Layden said about his relationship was outright false.
Another huge accusation that he made is that we love to toss around the N-word. I'll admit we make crude jokes behind the scenes, obviously.
I don't judge drugs here, Cats of Flockin'. I don't judge it. I was in the fucking woods smoking weed and DMT, dude. I don't judge it.
But we would never drop the N-word. I know our past on YouTube is more questionable in 2016 to 2017, 2018, during that time period. And I know that a lot of the jokes we made were very questionable and offensive. But now pushing 30, we have grown a lot and know that that is not acceptable. And that word is never being used between us in any context. To state otherwise is a flat out dishonest lie, and it's a low-hanging attempt to make us look bad because honestly, it's really easy. You don't need any proof. You can just say that we said the N-word.
Especially when it comes to Matt's personal relationships and a lot of the things Layden was saying that they did behind closed doors. I do feel like Layden doing a stream that is that long and includes so many claims, it really ends up building this big cloud that kind of just covers up.
Okay, I'm tired of hearing him talk about the Layton shit. Let's talk about the Layton friends.
This is when Matt comes to the point that Layden's close friends are capitalizing off of Lex's story, which I think is just outright untrue. Lex wanted her story to be told, and I think that some people may have made it harder for that story to be told because of them coming out, but I think it takes a step too far.
Did they not? Am I crazy? Did they not potentially capitalize off of the situation that Lex was putting out there? It fucking looks like that. That's not a crazy thing to say, Nick, especially if they're all friends with each other. That's not crazy. I think you're not seeing the forest through the trees, Nick.
Or when you are just like outright claiming that all of...
I did notice that he did not say at any point that Matt and Ryan and SuperMega tried to help her find an apartment by offering her money. I did notice he didn't add that part to help her.
Smoke crack, kids.
Okay, Cats of Flockin', you can't, for some reason YouTube won't let you do that, but it'll still make you do the dono sound. Thanks for the attempted 10.
These people are doing this because Layden doesn't like you guys.
A lot of people, mainly Layden and his close friends, have used this as an opportunity to capitalize.
By the way, Layden is not friends with Bo Blacks. We need to remove that conversation right off the bat. Bo Blacks does not know who the fuck Layden is. This right here, bad. Really fucking bad on Matt's part. Thank you for the 10, Cats of Flockin'. Smoke crack. Jesus Christ. True.
Off of what was initially...
Don't smoke crack.
Someone's story of sexual assault. It seems like the story lost its plot and quickly devolved into a dogpile on me and Ryan, when I don't think we necessarily were the focus to begin with, because it was about an assault.
Well, I don't know. I wish that I didn't have to be talking about my friend's sexual assault right now, but I do, because apparently I'm capitalizing off of it because...
You really shouldn't have said shit, Nick. Like, at all. You made this worse. I don't know how you're not rationalizing that situation. You made it worse. You made it worse because you contributed to this additional stuff. Yes, did you get your friend's voice out there? Not going to shit on you for that. But you contributed to all the other ridiculous stories that were unnecessary. And to be honest, even though you're a good friend of Lex, you should have waited till Matt and Ryan came out with something. Like, you should have waited until Matt and Ryan officially said something so that you don't look like a vindictive fucking biased bastard in your first video and then have to, like, talk your way out of it now. That's how you know you did the right thing. Again, another good example, me and Diesel on the Quite stuff. I do not know Quite. Diesel is very good friends with Quite. When me and him covered that situation, Diesel never made a video on it. Do you want to know why? Because it would come across as biased. Once all the information came out and there was provable evidence to show that the individual accusing Quite was a liar, we went live about it and went over all the evidence and Quite's response. That is what a real friend does. That's somebody who has the best interest in heart of the victim or the one that's being accused. Remember when everyone thought that Quite raped that girl? And that didn't happen. So how have we not learned?
As your ex-merch guy told me to. Matt says that people are going to continue to lie about them because, you know, this is the internet.
I anticipate many more people online will continue to do this because that's the internet and that's what it is.
And Matt gives a big apology for other people being unfairly brought into this, which kind of brought us to the conclusion of his video. Ryan's response was a lot shorter. He very quickly agreed that he made a lot of mistakes after Don did what he did.
We selfishly waited until we felt comfortable to have this discussion with Don instead of having the
Which is a fair criticism. 100%. I agree. They waited too long. They should have fired him earlier. They should have kicked. They should have investigated. They should have let him go and said, we're going to look into this, but you're not affiliated with SuperMega at all and you need to get out of the house. I can agree with that. Same as Lex. I'd be like, listen, you can't stay here either. Sorry. Is it fucked up to say that? Probably. But they're too close to the situation. And they're an employee. When two employees have a dispute, especially subcontractors, don't have them stick around.
It comes back immediately.
He kind of echoes the same sentiment as Matt, so I think, you know, it was okay that his video was as small as it was because they kind of would have been repeating a lot of the same stuff. Ryan apologizes for sexting fans in the position that he's in, which was something that was brought up with this whole story in the past couple weeks, and says that he made a massive mistake on that regard.
I abused my position and my power for selfish self-indulgence. I know that there is no sorry to rectify the damage I've done with this, and not because of how it's affecting me right now, because I deserve this. What I did is inexcusable and inappropriate. I'm not sorry because of how this is all affecting me in this current time. I'm sorry for how this has affected everyone that was within the vicinity of the situation.
And then finally, he mainly talks about Layden's comments. Once again, Layden made a lot of comments about the way that Ryan and Matt treated their own friend's suicide, and he makes it very clear that this is unequivocally untrue and that neither of them would ever make comments about this. It definitely was something that both of them focused on.
Why did you put it in your video then? Because someone said it happened? You're kind of a dickhead for that regardless. Why aren't you apologizing for that? I know you have the criticism part later, but it's kind of annoying that you aren't like, I shouldn't have said that, or Lex shouldn't have brought that up, or Leighton shouldn't have brought that up. You should just be like, dude, nobody should say that.
Video that really upset them, and I do think that those constant comments about that definitely made it harder for people to fully hear everyone's stories, and I think that's what is so frustrating for so many people in this story, is that it feels like there were a lot of little things that kind of built up, and because they were able to dismantle and give more understanding to a couple of those things, I feel like we kind of massively overshadowed a lot of what Lex was saying in the original video.
I've done enough shit to tarnish my image.
Nick, the majority of Lex's video is not important. It's not. The homelessness, all that shit, not important. It's not. The important thing's the Dawn stuff, and the important thing is, like, Matt and Ryan should have handled it better. That is the extent of what the SuperMega shit should have been. Not a breakdown of his relationships, not a breakdown of Ryan, not a breakdown of everything else. Bringing up Jim and Dawn and saying SuperMega could have handled this better. Done. Not rambling for hours about some sort of dispute of them living in the fucking house and getting kicked out.
But I will not stand by and let someone talk lies about the way I talked or treated my trauma in regards to Daniel. The sole focus of all of this should have been about the support that Lex needed.
Now, I do want to give a conclusion to how I feel about both of these responses. I do think that Matt and Ryan own up to a lot of the truly awful shit they did, and I think that was good. I also think
they fucked up. They aren't fucking evil people. You need to remove that talk from your fucking mouth. You need to remove awful people from your mouth, Nick. They fucked up. That's all that they did. They fucked up. They could have handled the situation better, and they didn't. Remove that from your vocabulary. Remove it from your vocabulary. They are not awful people.
A lot of instances where there was heavy miscommunication, and I do feel like a lot of the receipts they brought to the table make it easier to understand where they're coming from, while also understanding that this was handled very poorly, and most people in their shoes would have handled it much differently. Luckily, there's a lot of times where they do just outright admit that they fucked up. And I do think that their issues with Layden were handled poorly on all sides, and I think that Layden should not have spoke up as soon as he did about his experience. I never want to hold someone back from being able to talk.
No, Layton shouldn't have spoke fucking at all.
about how they were felt in a certain situation, but specifically because it happened so quickly after Lex's video, and especially because the stream was so much longer and there were so many little claims made, I feel like he may have had a lot of emotions and held up resentment from how much he was experiencing while working for Matt and Ryan for.
He showed his cock and balls to them as a joke. Immediately blows out any sort of idea that he was upset or uncomfortable in the workplace. Shut the fuck up.
Couple years, and I think when Lex was finally able to be heard, he was ready to tell his story, and he may have overstepped in that specific moment in time. I wish SuperMega just had the chance to respond to just Lex and her story, but even with all of the things they admit in the first half of the video, a part of SuperMega's fan base is relentlessly claiming that Matt and Ryan were just defaced by one disgruntled employee who had a vendetta to cancel them. And while I think that they do have evidence to show that Layden overstepped in terms of how he followed up Lex's video, and if I was Lex, I would understandably be very, very upset. But I think boiling down any of what she says in her story to just being controlled by Layden is pretty disgusting and untrue. None of this should have.
I agree to that point, but I also believe that there may have been some form of coercement. There may have been some gassing up of certain things that were unnecessary by Layton and her boyfriend. I believe that she was gassed up on some of that shit that I keep repeating was not necessary to be put in the original video. Again, it could have been 20 minutes. It could have been knocked out. Jim and Don are fucking creeps. I feel like they took advantage of me. SuperMega should have done better, but they did fire Don and got rid of everybody. Perfect. Done. That's all the video had to be, and I don't think anybody would have an issue with it. Instead, there are 2 fucking hours of additional bullshit in there.
A massive effect on what SuperMega did and what they even admitted to doing in this video. Despite how many times Matt can say he messed up, this video insinuates strongly that Lex would not have stepped forward if it were not for Layden, and that all of these people, including myself, have bought into this agenda that we need to take down SuperMega because the ex-merch designer that you fired told us to.
I'm asking that people use their common sense and maybe take a step back and look at the big picture here, and I hope that people can see that there is a personal vendetta that is being blown up here.
And I do see how the people watching Matt's video can draw that conclusion when all of these stories are told by Matt in a way that feel like conspiratorial to him. But when so many different people are upset about shit.
Dude, before Matt even dropped this, I thought it was conspiratorial. Before Matt did this, I thought it was conspiratorial. Sorry, because the connecting lines of the individuals involved with Lex all have an axe to grind with SuperMega that have nothing to do with Lex's original issues. Again, if it was just the fucking... If it was just... And I'm not fucking around when I say this again, because I know retards like those other 2 people that were here earlier are going to say it. If it was just the allegations and SuperMega messed up, nobody would have cared. People would have been like, I am so sorry that happened to you, Lex. But there's 2 additional hours of useless bullshit that makes Lex look like a disgruntled, overly privileged individual that didn't get what they wanted out of Matt and Ryan, and now they look like they're fucking entitled. That's on her for adding that additional shit for no reason. Her story, she can feel the way that she feels. I am not discrediting that at all. She can do that. If she just made the video cohesive and sticking to the original claims and not dragging in a bunch of additional personal shit that Matt and Ryan did, everyone would have been like still questioning, but not as violent about it.
You've done or said in the past to an extent where they'll ruin their career over it because they try to put out these videos and now they're being swarmed with hate. You'd think that if all of these people would come forward and put themselves in the spotlight in this way, maybe that's something that you need to reflect on yourself about. And I think Matt displays this reflection in the first half of the video, but as he talks about the role that Layden plays in this whole thing, I don't understand why his actions have to discredit the original story. Lex even said publicly that she was upset about the way Layden handled the story. And
no one cares about... All right, listen. Homelessness shit doesn't matter. Girlfriend, boyfriend shit doesn't matter. What else? The breaking into the car doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. What matters is the original allegations against Dawn and Jim. Again, Lex can feel the way that she feels about it. I feel differently. I am not going to discredit it. But there was unnecessary shit for no reason.
She was not under the impression that her story was going to cause him to say everything he did. None of those mistakes should have fallen on Lex. Why would Lex go out of her way to risk her career with thousands of people harassing her for, again, SuperMega's ex-merch designer guy?
I love that this is his running plot that he is focusing in on this thing because Matt was like, hey, there's a personal vendetta in regard to Ethan and Leighton. Talks about the Lex shit and goes, we fucked up. And owns up to the things that people wanted him to own up to. But he also talks about how Leighton is making shit up, and he is directly saying that Leighton's making shit up. He is not saying that Lex is making shit up. I love that Nick is making that the point of this video about the responses and trying to show that Matt says that Leighton is masterminding Lex. Do I believe that some things were gassed up? That's my personal opinion, but Matt never said that. So you are making an assumption.
Confirmed from several people, including Don, that yes, Don sexually assaulted Lex and Matt and Ryan kept him around. But then Lex doesn't tell her story until she meets Leighton, and then suddenly Leighton gets fired and convinces her to make a 2-hour and 20-minute video telling her story. It's hard to wrap my head around why people would use Leighton's false judgment and personal grudge against Lex as if she didn't also provide proof for things SuperMega said that were never actually addressed in either of their response videos. Like one of the bigger texts that Lex showed where she asked Matt about Don claiming that SuperMega fired him without much of a reason, only to receive a text from Matt that didn't seem worried. He just said, "Be gone, foul beast," even though one of their ex-employees was lying to people about why he was fired and still talking to fans about it. I think that's insane to me. And it could really only either be
because it wasn't their fucking story to tell. It's not their story to put on blast an essay. And I know that that sounds really harsh, but they are not the ones who had that happen to them. Lex had that happen. It would be really fucked up, right? If SuperMega, without warning, just threw out an essay allegation from a he said, she said situation without Lex, like, fully endorsing it or saying, you guys have to make a public response. It's almost like people would criticize them and say, why are you telling the victim's story? How could you tell the victim's story? You weren't there. It's a double-edged sword. Are you fucking joking, Nick?
Don lying to people about this so he doesn't have to admit what he did, or maybe the talk he had with SuperMega was confusing and vague to him. But we really never got any response about that.
I felt them downplaying it in real time, but I was across the state, like 5 hours away, and could do nothing about it. So that's when I decided I needed to be there. Matt had known since, or at least I told him, May 25th that I'd be in town on the 14th. On the 13th at 9 p.m., he messages me this. Hey, can't wait to see you. Just an update. Dawn is staying at the office with Rav right now. I did not know what the fuck to say, so all I could say is, what should I do?
Just an update. Dawn is staying at the office with Rav now. What should I do? Oh, whatever you want. I just updating you on when Dawn was staying when you knew my place is full at the moment, unfortunately.
Oh, whatever you want. I was just updating you where Dawn was. My place is full at the moment, unfortunately. Texting me hours before I gotta be there that he just sent him to the place I'm staying at. He didn't have to do this. Found out he did this because he was tired of Dawn making a mess.
They don't even touch on the fact that Ryan liked art from Don after they fired him on Twitter, and Don tweeted out asking people for a place to stay when none of SuperMega's fans knew that he sexually assaulted someone else. I'm all for keeping Lex's story private if she wants it to be private, but there's gotta be a way to tell your fans in a safe way that Don is not someone who they should follow anymore, that he was let go for a reason.
So now it's turned into, if Lex wanted it to be private, they should have been private. But they should have said something, even though they were respecting what Lex wanted to keep it private. You want SuperMega to move the heaven and the earth, just like fucking Lex, dude.
That you can't talk about, but you need them to know that it's serious and that they shouldn't really engage with him anymore. I know this video does a lot of jumping back and forth, but that's what happens when we're looking at all these stories. But I do want to reflect on my original video and say that I do think I made a bit of a mistake, including Morg Pie and Leighton's stories in that particular video. I wanted my video...
You should also apologize for calling Matt a rape apologist. You should definitely apologize to Matt for calling him a rape apologist. Come on.
Only to be about Lex's story, and I got caught up in context that I personally thought was important and necessary for the story, but I really should have only touched on Lex's...
What about the rape apologist part?
...this video from the start and what happened with her and Don and Matt and Ryan.
What about the rape? What about the rape apologist part? What about the rape apologist part? What about the rape apologist?
My video about Lex without waiting for SuperMega to respond, and that I was taking a side before hearing everybody's sides. And I thought I made this clear before, but of course I'm going to take the side of a personal friend of mine when she comes out with a story about her own sexual...
And you admit that you're biased. You dumb motherfucker. You dumb motherfucker.
Assault. This isn't like an online, like, normal thing where I look at all the facts and I make a decision. No, my friend was assaulted and never felt like she was able to be heard. And
you should be thinking in the context of what is actually going on here. You should be asking questions. I hate you, Nick.
Obviously, I believe her word. There is no way where I would look at that situation and hear her story. And do people think that just legitimately she just wants to outright lie about the way they treated her for no reason? I don't really understand where people are coming from.
you do realize that people lie about sexual assault all the time. I'm not saying Lex is, but you know in your heart of hearts, because you cover YouTube drama, that this happens all the time. You know this. This is something that is so simple. Even if it's your best friend, human beings are human beings. People do things, and your best friends will do things that you are completely shocked by because you don't really know them. They could be your best friend in the fucking world, and they could still murder someone without you fucking knowing. That's a crazy and hyperbolic thing to say, but it's true.
When they call me a liar with an agenda and they call her a liar with an agenda, where do you guys think we're coming from? You think we're like a part of the Illuminati or something? I think my conclusion to this is that SuperMega made some very rough mistakes in the past couple of years, and it seems like there was a lot of
carelessness. You can apologize for the rape apology. Apologize for the rape apology.
At the very
Apologize
best,
for the rape
guys.
apology.
They're just really, really dumb, and they don't really deserve to have.
But you said awful. You said horrible people.
The company and the team and the platform that they have with the way that they've handled it, especially because of the way they handled Don and how they put several people in unforgivable circumstances, including many people who worked for them. They dropped the ball on people that they were supposedly friends of, people that they supposedly cared for.
Where's the part where you were like, yeah, we could watch this rape apologist get punched in the face multiple times? Where is it? Where's the apology?
I think it's sad any of this happened. I hope everyone takes some time away from the internet to think about how situations like these.
How about you do that too, motherfucker?
Boil over and become as messy as they do once someone puts out a response and people just decide to like hound the person who decided and was brave enough to put out her story in the first place. Now she has to read comments every day of people telling her that she's wrong and that she lied about the whole thing and that Layden controlled her to do it. And I think that's it. That's probably the last time I'll cover the story. I don't know. I feel like, this shit isn't ever fun. I don't look forward to making videos.
I didn't look forward to fucking going over your video, retard. Final thoughts, because I'm tired. I'm pissed off that the other stream died. I'm probably going to have to take those together. I'm probably going to have to cut those down. I want it to be one continuous VOD. So those might go private for a minute. I'll download them once they're done processing, and they'll probably be up by tomorrow or the next day. So just keep an eye out for that. I don't know. I might keep them up and just say fuck it. I might do that too. Final thoughts. I think Nick is incredibly reckless for how he handled this story. I think there's a lot of things that Nick still has to apologize for. Did SuperMega fuck up in certain aspects? Yes. Is Lex allowed to feel the way that she feels about the Dawn situation? Yes. But the unnecessary shit that was spread by Lex, Morgpie, and Layton, and Ethan, her current boyfriend, are bullshit. And Nick, you have to realize that a lot of the shit in your video was just as unnecessary as a lot of shit in Lex's video.
Get that they need responsible for their platform, but I don't BC she is my friend vibe.
Yeah, that's literally what it comes across as. It's just ridiculous. Nick, you're a commentary channel. You're somebody that should be able to have a nuanced take on the situation, even if it's a personal thing. Even if it's personal, you should have a nuanced take on it. I've had my own moments where I got personal in a drama, but I knew what I was saying was true in the context of my actual personal drama with one person. I still stand by that. But the thing is that it wasn't an SA allegation. It wasn't anything that can, like, put a man in jail or ruin a man's entire life. It was me calling out something, and I was heated during it. But Nick, I understand that you want to defend your friend, but you defended her in the worst way possible and made it worse for this situation. You shouldn't have made the first video. Layton is a lol cow. Her boyfriend is instigating this shit. If Lex just stuck to the SA story, people would probably question still, but wouldn't have the amount of fucking bullshit that's being thrown around now. And Matt wouldn't have to make a 45-minute video explaining all the other shit away. My plea to you, Nick, is that you learn from this and that you don't make this fucking mistake again. But I know you will. Like that's the unfortunate reality of a Nickisnotgreen drama, is that he's going to make this mistake again. All right. So, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. I apologize that the stream cut in half I'm kind of mad at that, but it is what it is. I will make an executive decision tomorrow if I keep both of these VODs up or if I take them down and then conglomerate them into one video. I just want to say thank you, especially for the people that have donated so far. I want to pull that up real quick. Let's see here. I want to pull up all of the donos today. I want to say thank you to Shogun QTV, Schleepy. Thank you, Schleepy, for coming on, by the way. That was a really good stream. I'm glad he was there. Me and him have been working pretty closely on this stuff, and I like the guy. Hopefully he can come back on again. Panic Punch, Shadow Humor, JFA, Cats of Flockin'. Thank you for stopping by, dude. And Die. I'm sorry I can't say your full name because I'm an idiot. I want to thank you guys so much for all the support. Oh, also for the memberships, thank you, Karma for the 5 and Soul Vessel for the 50. Just as a reminder, when you guys get gifted these memberships, they're really important to the channel. And Soul Vessel and Karma are incredibly generous to hand those out to you guys. So when the month comes up, think about, re-upping the membership. If not, it's totally fine. I genuinely appreciate it. We do have members-only content. We do kind of like throwaway fun streams that aren't so drama-focused, and I put those in members-only for the people who really like to watch the content that's not just drama. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great night. Oh, yeah, you're right. Sheepley's video. Give me 1 second. Uh-oh. Let's, oh, God damn it. Why can't I find his video? Hold on. Hold on. Do not leave yet. I want to make sure you guys go check out his video. I completely messed up. That's the thumbnail. Where is the video? Here we go. All right, guys. Go check out Schleepy. Great content creator. He made a great video on this situation. I highly recommend you go check out his video. That should be the direct link to the video.
This didn't happen on business.
And it is. So check it out. See his perspective. And I will see you guys in the next one.